Santo, Man Kolnyang, Mike, Chol Grangawan, Yuping Yarul Pandit Shet Maniel, Anaketon Niel, Jillo, Winetona Dol. I think a kick, Buka, Anyalian, Kuika, Pingrin, Gemana, when I jang along, I do Kagaparami, Madina Maja, Kubo, Makur, Kagaboli, again, Kuaita Tian, Wagari, Kegela, Emmanuel, when you go, I think a kick, you pon the loy. You are good meat and meat corn.
Welcome, guys. Welcome. Please like share the video. Share for those of you who are watching Clubhouse. Visiting Clubhouse. Share the link. Some of you are watching on Facebook. Share the live. We have so much thing going on in our country. So much with information. So I would like to share all of you guys what's happening. What's happening. Welcome. Thank you. If you have a channel on, you can join me in So welcome, guys. Welcome to the show, to the Medin Majak Talk Show. Thank you for joining me, and thank you for tuning in this evening and this night and this morning, wherever you are. My name is Abraham Medit Majak. I'm one of the Lengste Media and South Sudan Media. Thank you for tuning in. Today's show is regarding what is happening, the trending news going on. As we know that on Saturday, the government came out with the press conference regarding about what's going on, especially particular the situation going on in NASA. They came out and they announced that about over 400 SSPDF has been killed by White Army in March 4th, 2025. And that will be so much, will be more. Some people say that the number should be higher than that. Okay, so that's official announcement from the government that over 400 has been killed in us in March 4th, 2025. And I have some of the video to play from those press conference from Honorable Ministry of Information, Honorable Michael Makulwet, and also the Cabinet Ministry, Dr. Martin Luyas-Moro. Talk about the Dr. Martin Luyas-Moro. There's so much going on right now. To start my show, as of you know, that is the Nuer community came out today in Juba condemning Dr. Martin Luyas-Moro about his remark during the press conference on Saturday. So on that, they said that here is the letter. I have a letter from the Nuer community, and also it's not just been non-Nuer community in Juba. Nuer people, Hamilton, across the board, whether they are in diaspora back home, they are outraged regarding what the remark about what Dr. Luyas-Moro said. And also these people, especially social media, Dr. Luyas-Moro always called these people as the social media criminals. They are now on social media everywhere, talking incitement. So before I do that, so let me play the video of what Dr. Martin Luyas-Moro said regarding about the incident, war that happened in Nasser, and why the Nuer community leaders come out to condemn Dr. Martin. So let me play his video, and then I will play the video, the response, the press conference from the Nuer community in Juba today. So they have both, I have both video to play back to back, and also I will play another video from Honorable Michael Makulwet too. Those videos, I have them, and I will play and see if you guys can analyze what's happening. And I will do some of my own analysis regarding about what's going on about all this topic. So listen to Honorable Martin Luyas-Moro speak.
Was the 4th of March, and that was in Nasser, Unity State. I want you to take patience as I read this carefully in my maybe slower speed than usual, because I want us to get it right. The preamble. Tensions among the South Sudan People's Liberation Defense Forces, the SPLM, IO forces, and the White Army in Nasser have been long-standing. In February 2025, these tensions escalated drastically. On the 3rd of March, the presidency convened an extended meeting to address the worsening situation in Nasser. During this meeting, it was confirmed that Dr. Riek Machar was in communication with key figures in the area. And these key figures include Paramount Chief, youth leaders, the SPLM commanders, and others on the ground. They assured the former Chief of Defense Forces, that was Santino Deng, that the White Army will lift the siege on our forces in Nasser, go back to their homes and locks, and that the SSPDF forces who granted access to Nasser and relieve the seized troops and allow them to leave Nasser for Malakal. Despite these assurances, on the 4th of March 2025, the White Army launched a brutal attack, resulting in the death of over 400 SSPDF personnel, including their commander, the General David Major Dak. These tragic incidents triggered a political crisis and posed a serious threat to the implementation of the agreement on the Russian conflict in the Republic of South Sudan. Uriak has since been placed under house arrest, with other SPLM-IO leaders also detained pending investigations into their possible involvement in the incident. What is the background to this conflict? The Nuer ethnic group, one of the largest in South Sudan, played a significant and crucial role in the liberation of the country. This community spans, occupies counties divided into 4 sub-sections. The Nuer are in Nasser, Nulang, Mayendit, Nungachuk, all the Upper Nile, Lord Nuer in Akobo, in Yirol, and Uror in Jonglei State, Pagak Nuer in Lik in Pagak, Gawar in Ayot in Jonglei State, and Bentiu Nuer in Bul, Mayom, Yikeny in Wit, Tok in Ler, Yong in Panyajar, Hok in Mayandit, Yakai in Kwach, and Lik in Rukona counties. Out of these counties, 9 of them are considered hostile to the government, primarily aligned with the SPLM-IO. These include Nasser, Ulang, Akobo, Nirol, Uror, Angak, Ayut, and Rukona. Leaders from these areas hold influential political and military positions and maintain deep ties with this community leadership, including youth, women, and spiritual leaders. The 7 remaining counties are deemed to be friendly to the government, including Mayandi, Maywood, and Ngochuk, as well as Gwit, Lair, Panyajar, Mayandit, Koch, and Mayam counties in the state. What is the conflict timeline and escalation timeline? The SPLM-IO political crisis in December 2023, led by Dr. Riek Machar, formed the SPLM-IO rebel movement to fight the government of the Republic of South Sudan, causing death of innocent civilians and displacement of thousands of the people of South Sudan and destabilizing the country. In 2015, under regional and international pressure, the parties signed the agreement on resolution of conflict in the Republic of South Sudan. However, violence resumed in 2016. A new deal, the revitalized government of national unity, was signed in September 2018, forming the revised agreement, the revitalized transitional government of national unity. The agreement on the recent conflict in South Sudan mandated that all parties surrender their forces to the government to form the unified national structure and relinquish administrative control of territories so that they are divided equitably between the parties to the agreement. The SPLM-IO, however, resisted government presence in areas such as Nasser, Ulang, and others that we may not need to mention now. The SSPDF attempted to assert control of Nasser in 2016, but faced strong resistance. And over the years, their forces in Nasser were marginalized, allowed only limited access to water, firewood, and food. On the 4th of March 2025, it culminated in the massacre of over 400 SSPDF soldiers by the White Army, suspected to be in collaboration to the SPLMIO forces. What is the relationship between the SPLMIO and the White Army? While the SPLMIO claims that the White Army operates independently, their ties to the SPLMIO are strong and inseparable. This can only be confirmed through the ongoing investigations once the investigation is completed. So now, after Nasser, what is the strategic plan of the government? The strategic plan to reinvigorate the implementation of the our access is as follows. One, we noticed and confirmed that the Nasser crisis has fragmented the SPLA into 4 factions now as we speak. One, there are SPLM-IO who are under investigation because they're in conflict with the law, the constitution. There are SPLM-IO who are in hiding. They're here in Juba or elsewhere within our country. There are also SPLM-IO who have decided to exile themselves. They ran away. And there are those who are in government with us. So what is our plan now to move the country forward? At this point, I want to mention that our commitment as the high-level committee is to make sure that we implement the agreement to move this country forward. How do we do it? We want to have one national army, disarm civilians, and make sure that the army and the police and all the other organs and control. We want to establish a democratic system. Then we move the country to election, because we believe it's only in election that the country will have stability. And I want to call to all of you, including our citizens, to understand that. First, as an action we want to take, number one, we want to reaffirm the leadership representation. You know that the agreement has been signed by 5 partners. But in these partners, the SPLM, the IT GONU, which is the SPLM and the parties that work with the SPLM, we have 14. The SPLM-IO claims to be the only one group. But then the SOA, South Sudan Opposition Alliance, have 8. So the other parties, they call them OPP, have 20. And then you have the FGs. So you're talking about 42 parties in this government. So the fact that one faction of the SPLM-IO is not there does not nullify, does not annul the agreement. You must be clear about this. So when I talk about leadership representation, the high-level committee, which includes all the parties signatory to the agreement, shall urgently convene a meeting to recognize the legitimate SPLM-IO faction for continued implementation of the RRCs. We will have to recognize, according to the agreement and according to the constitution of the SPLM-IO itself, which party is legitimate? The one that has rebelled outside? The one that is hiding? The one that is self-exiled? Or the one that is with us in the government? Because every party has a constitution. A party is actually a government. It has a constitution, it has laws, rules, and regulations. We will follow those. 2, we want to the constitution of the structures of the agreement itself. So the High Committee shall submit candidate nominations from the SPLM-IO that we will recognize according to the constitution for restructuring and implementation of mechanisms and national commissions to the president for appointment. The country cannot be left in vacuum. Out of the two parties, if only one faction of the SPLM-IO has gone, it doesn't mean the other 42, 41 are irrelevant. 3, the high-level committee will meet with the Ministry of Finance and Planning to review and realistically adjust the budget of the electoral institutions to ensure availability of funds. We must look at the budgets of these institutions. Some of them are not realistic. Now we're going to take action. We're going to monitor, once they're paid, we're going to monitor the implementation. We're going to monitor progress so that we make sure we reach to the election in 2026. 4, electoral preparations. The High Committee will coordinate with electoral bodies and the National Transition Committee to develop a new realistic schedule for implementing the ongoing and the pending provisions and holding credible elections 2026. 5, Security Sector reform. We will engage with National Transition Committee to expedite force unification and integration into a cohesive national army and national other security organs. This is one of the weaknesses in the agreement, where we review those articles that are difficult. 6, roadmap development. We will draft a comprehensive roadmap outlining timelines and processes for resolving contentious or delayed articles in the R-axis, ensuring inclusivity and enforceability. And that we will call it roadmap part 2. We just remove those which are implemented and leave those who are ongoing and pending, and that is part 2. And that we'll do it quickly, expeditiously, and with a lot of drive. 7, security alert and diplomatic appeal, and this is very important. The Government of the Republic of South Sudan has received credible intelligence concerning a former officer of the SPLM-IO who defected and engaged in combat operations alongside the Rapid Support Force of Sudan in Eastern Sudan. It has come to our attention that the said officer is currently in Western Barghazal and is reportedly planning to travel to Western Equatoria State to establish contact with Futio Karaba, the former governor, previously dismissed for corruption and other activities. 7.2, this development is of serious concern to us as a government, as a country, that with mobilization of dissident elements and potential formation of rogue alliances threaten to undermine national security of the country, destabilize peace efforts, and compromise regional stability. 7.3, the government of South Sudan, therefore, urges strongly neighboring states, neighboring countries, particularly those with sensitive and porous borders, not to provide sanctuary, logistical support, political support to such groups or movements that aim to disrupt peace, security in the Republic of South Sudan, because the impact will be wider than that. It will affect the whole region. Imagine Ethiopia and Nasser, and Gambela. You go to Uganda here, Kajukeji, in Panyume. You go to DRC. All those borders, you go to Central African Republic. These are all very sensitive borders. If they come together, they will destabilize not only South Sudan, but the entire region. 7.4, we also appeal to the international community, to IGAD, and African Union, and other development partners to closely monitor these developments, work collaboratively with our security democratic institutions and lend renewed support to the ongoing implementation of the revitalized agreement. Finally, in conclusion, 8.1, the Nasser incident represents a grave setback to the peace process and a stark reminder of the fragility of the revitalized agreement on the resource conflict in the Republic of South Sudan and the massacre of SSPDF personnel by the White Army and the unresolved affiliations between the armed community groups and political movements reveal critical gaps in trust, security sector reform, and political coherence. 8.2, however, this tragedy must serve as a turning point, a catalyst for the urgent and decisive action. The government, in collaboration with the regional and international partners, must reassert its leadership in driving the peace process forward through renewed dialogue, international reform, institutional reform, and a unified national effort. 8.3, the implementation of our axis cannot be held hostage. We cannot hold implementing this agreement hostage by division within a party or the persistence of parallel armed forces. A unified political will, reinforced by credible mechanisms, accountability, and inclusive governance is essential. Only through our unity, transparency, and accountability can the transitional period be completed and the country set firmly on the path towards peace and credible elections 2026. Finally, the way forward demands courage, demands clarity.
Okay. So now you hear from Dr. Martin Elias Moro, his remark. Now, regarding about that, the Nuer community came out overwhelmingly and they calling for Cabinet Affairs Ministry, Dr. Martin Moro, to resign. They are accusing him that he's inciting of genocidal profile, and after he described some of the Nuer 9 counties that are hostile. So now, before I put in my perspective regarding about this, listen to this is the letter that the Nuer community leaders in Juba wrote today, and I have that video too. They say that we are sure the statement on the date 26/04/2025 by the Honorable Martin Ministry was aimed to brief the people of South Sudan on the stage of peace and how government is addressing the current crisis in the country, has a primary responsibility in, and accordingly to the transitional constitution of the Republic of South Sudan 2011, amended 2018, chapter 3, part 4, article 53, AC, and read together. However, Dr. Martin Elias choose to divide it from primary rule of the government to his own conviction or dishonestly profiling and defaming the identity of Nuer. Now, let me stop there. So this is what they are coming here. They said there is racial they are profiling and defaming the identity of Nuer people for those 9 counties that he labeled them as hostile to the government. So, and they continue to see, they see, the question we are asking the people of South Sudan is, who is Honor Martin Elias Lomuro, and what did he contribute to this country to qualify him profiling Nuer into hostile and friendly counties? Honor Dr. Martin Elias is a well-known figure who was openly opposing and fighting the SPLA during the struggle. One of these mischieved action was throwing a rotten egg to late leader of SPLA, Dr. John de Garang Namibio in London. Dr. Elias is a known figure for inciting and fueling conflict even in his own community of Wundorobo, Juba, and Lanya County. Dr. Elias has been in the spotlight in the country, and he is known for creating a controversy like profiling and defaming Sudan as MTN or MTN. So the printer is remembering that. The Nuer Leadership Peace Forum Executive Committee and entire membership of Nuer community elders, the youth women groups, and civil society are deeply disturbed by this irresponsible statement of Hon. Martin Elias Moro, the Ministry of Community Affairs, for profiling the 16 counties of Nuer community into a hostile and friendly. Hon. Dr. Martin went as far as accusing the Nuer of being allies of RIP support forces. These allegations are serious and aim at diminishing and targeting of the country under the leadership of General Salva Kiir Mayardit, the President of the Republic of South Sudan. The Nuer leadership came. Before I go there, let me stop here for a second. So now, the Nuer leaders, civil society, elders, women, they came out in Juba and they wrote this one and they're condemning Martin Luther Moro about the comment. Okay, let us be honest here, okay? I always speak naked, okay? I see what's right and give what right has belonged to, okay? So what I see here, Dr. Elias Moro, for those of you who are condemning Dr. Elias Moro, Dr. Elias Moro, I see here he didn't do anything wrong here. Why I say this? Let me give you guys an example. When the COVID-19 hit, we call it, they call it pandemic, right? And when Ebola hit in Africa, they call it as a Ebola pandemic. There are some of the hard spots, okay? I understand the language, they are hostile, and put that in quote. This is where people take hostile. The 9 counties were hostile, okay? Okay, let's us remove the word of hostile out from that and replace it with a pandemic. Why I'm saying this? Why I explain that as pandemic? Because if that I had or remove the pandemic, put the a hotspot. Okay, put that word hostile, remove out and put the hotspot. Okay, those, let's put that 9 counties that label as a hostile counties. Let's put out the hotspot of the crisis conflict going on in the country. Okay, so when the pandemic hit, and how they can solve this crisis, like control this disease, for example, COVID-19 or Ebola. There are some places that have effective of this Ebola or COVID-19. So what the government will do, and healthcare administration, they will go and this area very much affected of these diseases. They will put there, they will quarantine these people, nobody going in and nobody coming in, or nobody go out. And they will find the way how to reduce, to separate this disease. So now let's come back to the real issues here. So I see a lot of South Sudanese coming out in social media condemning Honorable Martin Elias Moro here. Okay, Dr. Martin is doing his job. Okay, And let's be realistic here, Junubin. This the incident in Nasser, the White Army who killed over 400 people, SSPDF with their family, with their wife and their kid in Nasser on March 4th. So those White Army, are they only White Army in Nasser, or are there other counties join in? Okay. And these 9 counties, the call is they are not friendly to the government, they are anti-government. Okay. So they don't want government. When this incident happened during that time, you have seen White Army, some of these counties, they went and kicked out the commissioner of the government in that area. They don't want them. They don't want a government official in that area. In other words, they declared themselves, they are not a part of South Sudan, they have their own government system. They don't even associate themselves with the government in Juba or the president of, they have their own law, they have their own policy. They don't want to hear anything about what government doing, okay? And plus, those 9 counties, they are a stronghold of IO, okay? That's why you have seen what happened in Nasser, killing SSPDF, kick them out, because they don't want SSPDF in that area. The only people that they want there is IO forces. This is the reality here. Okay? And second, let me talk to these so-called Nuer elders or leaders in Juba. These people just come out and wrote this and condemn this. Where were they? I'm asking you, where were you? Where were you when the conflict in Nasser began way back in February? Where were you guys? I have never seen anything in social media or media. You come out and condemn what's going on in Nasser. Okay? You have not come out and come up with a solution how you can fix before White Army killed 400 SSPDF, plus killing the general, David Majur. Where were you guys? Where were you guys, Nuer leaders in Juba? You come out with this strong statement condemning Dr. Martin Lomuro. So if you condemn Dr. Martin Lomuro, you condemn yourself too. Because you leaders of Nuer community in Juba, you have failed the Nuer people. Okay? So if you say that you fire or you want to Dr. Lomuro to resign, you guys need to resign as well in your leadership. Because when the war started in Nasser in February, in March 4th, or before even war started, when this communication going on between the government with the White Army and all kinds of stuff before the war break out, as the leader of the Nuer community, you're supposed to go to Nasser, sit down with these people to solve the problem before this stage that we are in. If you get that, there will be no 400 SSPDF die. There will be no White Army who got killed. I don't know how many of them died, lost their lives. You should blame yourself and Nuer leaders in Juba. You fail the people of South Sudan, not only Nuer community. And you call yourself as a leader of Nuer community and civil society of Nuer. So why now? The word hostile. That's why you come out and condemn Dr. Lomuro. That is the question for you leaders in Nuer community. Where were you when the incident happened in March 4th or before February? Where were you What did you do to stop the crisis in Nasser? Why you didn't come to public the way you did today? Or wrote the letter like this to condemn or to encourage to stop or calling the White Army not to engage with SSPDF, Nation Army. I'm reality here. I'm just calling what it is. Huh? That question, where committee need to answer that. And some of you watching right here, I know you social media war mongering, I know you. Take that question to these leaders, so-called the Nuer community leaders in Juba. You have failed the people of South Sudan. You have failed the Nuer people. And you call yourself as the leaders of Nuer community. Where is your leadership here? Now, when Dr. Lomuro come out and call 9 counties as hostile and 7 counties as a friendly, and you come out now condemning, say that Martin Lomuro is dividing Nuer community, or they are want to create it to wage a genocide for those 9 counties. So if you, some of you here, I'm just weighing my hunger to these leaders, so-called Nuer community leaders in Juba. The crisis in South Sudan of today, Okay, Honorable Dwara, I will bring you up, yes. Yeah, coming global, Honorable Dwara, I will bring you up. So the crisis of today at Junubin, what we are today, let's be honest here. I know you will tell me, Madid, you are a Dinka, you are talking as a Dinka. No, I'm a concerned citizen of South Sudan. Okay, so what I'm seeing, the crisis going on now, whether in Upper Nile, these are the area I had spot. And this so-called Nuer leadership, if they are leading the Nuer community, and they want peace to come to those counties, 16 counties of Nuer, why they didn't do a grassroots peace talk with these 16 counties? Huh? And out of these 69 counties are very hostile. They are not hostile to the government. They are even more hostile to their neighbors community, whether it's Shuluk, Anuak, or Dinka, or Murule. These 9 counties are hostile to their neighbors. This is a friend here. Every time these people, there are criminal code to some of the neighbors, looting the cow, cattle, killing people. And where were you? So-called the leader of Nuer community in Juba. Where were you? Listen to what they are saying.
This statement is from SPLM leadership. Here today denouncing the profiling of the 16 Nuer counties in South Sudan by Honorable Martin Elias. On Saturday, 26th of April 2025, Honorable Martin Elias Lomuro, Minister of Cabinet Affairs and Secretary of the High-Level Standing Committee on the Implementation of Peace Agreement, led to the press conference document entitled...
Sorry, Jamaat, the sound is too low, so that's the mic volume that I can have.
National Government of National Unity. The Nasser incident, where he described the incident as the unfortunate clashes between the South Sudan People's Defense Forces and the SPLM-AIO and the White Army, which led to the demise of the late Major General David Major and about 400 SSPDF personnel. However, in the same document, under subsection 2.4, Honorable Martin Lomuro chose to categorically profile the 16 counties inhabited by Nuer people in South Sudan between hostile and friendly to the government of the Republic of South Sudan. The Nuer SPLM leadership in Juba view this misleading categorization as irresponsible, reckless, and dangerous not only to the Nuer people in South Sudan, but also to the government of the President Salva Kiir Mayardit, who is the chairman of the SPLM. This is a strategy by a leader of another political party to push away Nuer support from Comrade Salva Kiir Mayardit and the SPLM under his leadership. The current conflict in our country is between the armed opposition groups against the government of the Republic of South Sudan. In fact, the current conflict has never been between the Nuer community and South Sudan government, as Dr. Martin Lee alluded to in his profiling of the Nuer community. There is no conflict. There is conflict all over our country, including
whether
Yeah.
it's your network or
No, I think it's the video. It's a video that I'm
are
playing.
you playing the video?
Yeah, the video. Yes, is the voice too low?
We are listening. It's the way we were listening before.
Okay, yes, the video. Let me stop there. The video is bad. Anyway, I have a letter here. I can make. You guys know what they're saying is there's a letter here. So the letter. Let me continue with the letter. So the video, the sound is really low.
Okay.
Yeah, let me remove that video. So here is what they're saying. So let me continue with the letter. The Nuer leadership came to conclude that Dr. Martin Lomoro's statement is intended to, one, incited the Nuer against the government, our followers, Dinka, and other community to erase the historically record contribute by the Nuer throughout South Sudanese struggle and coexist the greatest tradition of the African history embodied in the name of humanity. Number two, Honor Martin Lomuro is investigating and profiling a group of people in the term of their ethnicity that can lead to a crime of genocide against the Nuer community. The world history taught us profiling and targeting a group people is identity deformation and discrimination. The UN chapter 1948 on human rights, discrimination or race, agenda, ethnicity, religion, and place of origin. Original. Dr. Lomoro's statement also portrayed a Nuer as a hostile community to a member of regional and international community. Now, you see the language that I'm talking here, same language that people are speaking in social media. These the leaders that are going on and talk about this. Because they take this as a very big that is a crime, that is a genocide coming against the Nuer community. They speak about the genocide. Which is that the one now who are doing incitement of a war that there's some stuff that they're supposed to stop it. To talk to that community. That's what the leadership is. The statement can also be viewed as a working indirectly against the government. On this note, what Honor Martin Lomuro is ignorant about the Nuer history and the contribution the Nuer made and continue to do so as one of the nucleus used in liberation struggle for a freedom of South Sudan. The Nuer, like any other community, has played a role in hosting the whole liberation movement. Honor Martin Lomoro's mission is to sow the seed of division between Nuer and other ethnic groups, in particular the Dinka, not knowing that the two nationalities as their historical link and relationship, no matter what someone want to to slide them for the person gains. So, okay, let me stop here for a second. Now, when I'm hearing in social media, whether in Clubhouse, whether in Facebook Live or writing from the son and daughter of Nuer community, everything that's due, it says Dinka do this, Dinka, all everything is Dinka. Why you put this on Martin Lee and Moro? What we are saying here, and your own people are doing it. It's not Martin. Referring to the above, on behalf of the entire Nuer community, the Nuer leadership peace forum executive leadership demand the following. Okay, here are the demand. Dr. Martin Luther, listen to the demand and the government as well. Okay, number one, condemning the statement of Dr. Martin Luther Muro, strongest term as possible. That's demand number one. Number two, Honored Martin Luther Muro, the Ministry of Cabinet Affairs must immediately resign from his two positions. Meanwhile, we humbly appeal to His Excellency President Salva Kiir Mayardit. Let me go back. We are humbly appeal His Excellency the President of the Republic of South Sudan to resign him or relieve him from the government portfolio in order to give a peace a shot. Oh my goodness. Number three, profile a group of people is again RSS, which is the Republic of South Sudan, laws. Therefore, the Nuer leadership peace from has a right to seek a legal advice against Dr. Martin Luther Muro. Four, we are calling upon the entire South Sudanese community to unite for they are peaceful causes, not to listen to elements like Dr. Martin or like Honorable Dr. Martin Luther Muro, whose agenda interest is to incite communities against each other and vindicate of genocidal. We, the Nuer leadership peace from do hereby express our sincere appreciation for the effort being made by HE, the President of the Republic of South Sudan, and his government, and the peace partner to the RSS, the regional and national community, and the peace-loving people for maintaining a peace in our country, seeing the sign of peace agreement in 2018. The Republic of South Sudan, all communities stand tall in march and promote a peace, unity, and reconciliation. May God bless South Sudan. Sign all of this. The chairman seemed like the chairman of the Nuer community is General James Hothmai, the chairman. The Nuer leadership peace from South Sudan, Juba. Number two is Honorable John Joel, Deputy Chairman, the Chairman of Law Nuer Community Council. Number three, Honorable Hussein Dong Gapan, and Chairman of Pangak Community. And number four, Honorable Michael Shenjing, Acting Deputy Chair and Active Chairman of Bentiu Community. And also Honorable Wayne, the Deputy Chairman of Eastern Jirkany. All of these leaders, they are inside the government. They are ministries of government. Okay? All of these leaders, they are the ministry of the government. They are in that same government. So let me stop here and give, I have still a couple more video to play, but let me stop there for a second. I can give my joke on Honorable Dwar, their analysis of this. Welcome, Honorable Dwar. Let me give this chance first, and then my joke, are you free? Huh?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you go ahead if you have time. Yeah, go ahead and put in what you think about the letter and all of this going on in social media regarding about the remark of Dr. Martin Luther King. Welcome.
Thank you, Abraham Adis, and the viewers, especially the audience, rather, honorable and those who might possibly be interested to share their thoughts with regard to the topic about. Permit me to appreciate Abraham Adis for creating this room and also throwing this discussion for us to brainstorm and see where Martin Lomuro has uh, deviated from the reality of his leadership and also looking at the trajectory of which the Nuer came out in their totality and disagree, condemn in unison to the extent of them calling for the
Your voice lost. We cannot hear you.
What happened? What happened with Majuk?
Am I clear?
Now you are clear, yeah.
You just came on. You were off.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Abraham Adis, you have exhausted most of the points, and I'm glad you have played some of the clips or the audio, which are the community of Nuer leadership in different formats, not away from the SPLM as a ruling party, the Nuer community leadership in Cuba, the women, and also the Nuer youth to condemn what happened. First of all, I will not take much of your time, but I have to look at this English language called hostile. If somebody says this community is hostile to this people of this community, I think in normal circumstances, it is not a big deal. It is just like somebody saying that this community is not friendly to so and so. So completely, Dr. Martin Lomuro using the word hostile is what made him to be a victim. Otherwise, if you would have used different words like there are other counties within Nuer or Upper Nile region who are friendly to the government, I think people would have not been as serious as they are. For that being said, at the time itself, you can't end a section which is unfriendly to some part. What prompted the Nuer community to come out in a large number, according to my understanding? Number one is a disclosure of the number of SSPDF which were actually killed during the attack in Nasser. So this one alone, and you know, government has been fired till the incident happened. Government did not disclose how many soldiers were killed.
Samuel Yai, I put the link down. If you want to come, you can click that link. You can click that link and come.
Like 50,
I can open for the discussion, but yeah, if you can able to, some of you want to join me in the studio, you can click that link and you can come
in that incident. I think this is to the normal human being can send you a clear message that there is an indication that an angry human being somewhere might take law into his own hand, considering the number of the deaths. And people don't even know the names and the tribe this PDF comes from. So I think that is what prompted some members of their community to focus much on Lomuro so that people will forget about the number of the soldiers which were killed during the attack. That is how I assume it, and I stand to be corrected. Number two, Martin Lomuro has made this statement at a very critical time, where the Nuer as ethnicity has been divided into several holes. And for that reason, there has been a serious blame between IO, the White Army. Nobody's owning, like, taking responsibility of who is associated with the Red Army, with the White Army rather. For that statement to come out as early as now, made Nuer to come out so that they will make people forget what is happening and focus much on hostile descriptions of Martin Lomuro. Number three, Martin Lomuro divided the Nuer community into their counties, referring some counties to be friendly and other counties to be unfriendly to the government. That also sent a clear message to the Nuer that this man has an intention of dividing Nuer further. And for us to condemn that, we must come out jointly, whether you are a pro-government or you are pro-IO or pro-White Army or just a mere citizen of South Sudan and you happen to be from that ethnicity, then you have to come out condemning that statement so that opportunists of Nuer will not take advantage of that and start creating loopholes and failing out of their fellow Nuer, telling them not to be loyal or not to be friendly to the government. Number four, what prompted Nuer to come out in this number is the fact that for a tribe to be termed as they're fighting with the government is something too heavy. No other tribe that have ever fought government and won the war. No. It just happened in our history of South Sudan. So Nuer also in their own mind want to condemn concurrently the incident of Nasser and try to put the entire blame on Dr. Martin Lomuro. These are the few things that I thought why Nuer came out and condemned Dr. Martin Lomuro. Otherwise, if Martin Lomuro would have used this statement or said this statement without disclosing the number of soldiers that lost their lives during the incident, I think there would have been no such condemnation like in unison. If Martin Lomuro made this statement, maybe after Dr. Yak has been released from mother house arrest and maybe resume his position, those IO that went to the exile themselves, those who are in Juba, like normal activity of their government, of the Butler agreement, I think Nuer would have not dwelt much on Martin Lomuro. On the part of Dr. Martin Lomuro, and this is where I differ a little bit with you, Abraham. You see, as a leader, you must be very careful on the choices of the word that you use, especially during difficult time or crisis. Any single statement that you release as a politician will create a great impact to the people that you are leading. Martin Lomuro is reckless, to be honest, and all of us can agree on that. Number two, our politicians are suffering from the two choices of what they normally use. Good example is when President Xi went to Bor, I can't remember which year, and he used the issue of a madman chasing a sober-minded person, or a lion rather. You see how Bor County citizens twisted that and said, okay, now President Xi has given us, has told us that why do we keep running from Murley? Yet we have weapons, so we have to fight back. Without even looking at the context of which President Xi made that analogy. Completely, Martin Lomuro made that statement at a very wrong time. How I wish he would have chosen another different term to use these people. And if he would have chosen that word to use, and then he would have avoided laying out or underlining the Nuer counties in their numbers. There was no statistics that need to be done. If you are making a statement, you don't need to make a statistic. So it seems like this ethnicity is well known, and people need to know where their boundaries are, so that in case of anything, then we should know them which county, and which county belong to this ethnicity. So otherwise, there's things that happen. To conclude with, Martin Lomuro could make only two things in order to redeem his political career. Number one, Dr. Martin Lomuro should come out tomorrow and make a public apology letter or apology statement to Nuer community. And by doing that, Martin Lomuro will save himself from intellectuals of Nuer. They will understand that apology means a lot. Number two, Martin Lomuro, by doing that apology, will save President Kiir in current dilemma. President Kiir now has been set on a dilemma mood, either to release Martin Lomuro, and yesterday Dr. Waniga was released from that region of Equatoria, and is one of the leading politicians. And tomorrow or any time from now, Martin Lomuro also will be released. So this thing, you cannot make these two scenarios following each other. If Martin Lomuro make an apology to Nuer, then he will save President Kiir from dilemma, and President Kiir also will speak or send a committee to speak to these intellectuals of Nuer. Tell them, you guys, it has happened, it has already been released a statement, and Martin has apologized for it. Politician apology is nothing. The most important thing in politics is to achieve your goal. And
welcome, Michael.
goal now
How are you?
is to remain in government.
Yeah, fine.
He is from different parties.
Okay, I have some people who are speaking in Clubhouse, so let them finish and then I will give you a chance.
Or cabinet affairs minister has been actually assigned to his party. And if not, and then President Kiir has the right to release. So President Kiir also is a symbol of unity. So if anybody in his government trying to actually remove a certain ethnicity from supporting President Kiir, then President Kiir also will watch out. First election of which Martin was talking about.
Simon, I pinned down the link. If you can see that link.
But I know what they say now will
so
change.
There's a link that I pinned it down. So you can click that link.
4 months to the election period. It will change automatically. They will say we have insecurity, we have a lot of things. We are not ready for election. And these are the demand of IO for the last 6 years. Now they have seen what they want. And they are crying now. Completely, I will conclude Martin Lomuro should apologize to the Nuer community, and he will save himself and serve President Kiir from dilemma. This is what I can say, and I stand to be corrected. Abraham Adich and Honorable Duar. And if anybody is down there, you are willing to share your thoughts, your view, then you are entitled to raise your hand, join us, and let's have a conversation. Thank you, and be blessed.
Can I have an opportunity?
Thank you, Majok. Hang on, Michael. We have one more, so and then we'll come. Honorable Duar, you can go ahead. Oh, Honorable Duar, you can go ahead now. Thank you, Majok.
Thank you very much, Madid.
Michael Nor, you will come next.
With due respect to all elaborate explanation that you have actually added into this particular topic that we are discussing this morning, because it's morning already in Juba. We are now at 1:30. I don't know what time is it in America. Where are you people?
It's 7:30 p.m.
Is it afternoon? Maybe afternoon now.
Yeah, it's the evening. It's the evening. 7:30 p.m. Evening.
Oh, 7:30 p.m. in the evening.
Yeah,
that's very good. Let me just come back to this.
Ashwil, do you have any light on your side?
The most trying moment with the statement made by the minister and also a group of high-ranking profiles within the SPLM structure who went in and issued also a counter statement. And then one of the people, I mean, a layman like you and I, course, now I want to be talking as Samuel Nuer. I don't want to talk as a member of the government that is representing the voice of the government. So we are laymen. When a layman hears such a thing, honestly speaking, what comes to the mind of somebody who is just a layman like me is that where are we going to? Why do we issue a statement and then counter a statement after?
I feel it's okay. You can come. You can come.
What
I feel if you don't even have light, come back.
Countries do we want to establish?
It's okay.
The statement was actually very nasty. This statement issued by the group. First and foremost, Madin Majak and Majok, this group of comrades who came to the SPLM house and started issuing the statement, if they were at all the leadership of the SPLM, as some of them claim indeed, that the Nuer SPLM leadership condemned. You see, you cannot bring the political party that is governed by law, political party that has its own chairperson, it has its own deputies, and say the leadership. They have not given you green light to go and speak on their own behalf. Come on. That was wrong thing that was done by Comrade Peter Lambos. The former Secretary General did not actually have the approval to speak on behalf of the SPLM. He is entitled as a citizen of South Sudan. I'm not trying to say citizen of Nuer, citizen of South Sudan, and if he feels that he comes from that particular county that has been labeled as hostile, he should have done it completely separate from the SPLM. It is to many people like me and the rest dismay that this uttering words like this is even worse than what Martin Lomuro has done. Martin Lomuro was talking as a cabinet minister within the government of South Sudan, trying to examine the situation of which the country is in. And that's why he went as far as saying, here is the problem. My difference with Martin Lomuro, these words are not his own words. It should have been said by the security. The security is the one to level which one is hostile, which one is friendly. And by saying this, they know how to approach the hostilities, they know how to approach the friendships. So Martin Lomuro went in, and simply because he's also receiving reports from apparatus, the security apparatus, and other sources of his own information. So this is what might have, motivated him to speak out like this. Otherwise, I am absolutely satisfied that the statement of Martin Lomuro were not indeed, as per se, having any problem. They don't have any problem that the group can stand up and then make counter statement completely if we were together. Now, let us come back to the reality. My joke, and I want you to give your ears to this. What always happened in South Sudan? Our communities have all been having such history all along. You remember when people were killed, our forces were killed in Luanjang. They were killed also in Toi North, the forces of the SPLA forces, the SPLA forces. Who did all these things? First and foremost, primarily, let me tell you, and also be mindful also, there was a conflict that was killing hundreds. The primary responsibility, and as it says always, that the security is the responsibility of all. Primary responsibility lies in the hands of the sons and daughters of the area. They go there. What made them, the leaders that I saw them issuing to the last night, yesterday, the statement, what made them, what prevent them not to go to the ground, to go and talk to their own people, that look, what you are doing is not good. Why did they wait until Martin and Lomuro, after massacre of our soldier Gallant's troops in Nasser happened, and Martin Lomuro has to examine the situation that is happening in the country, and then they respond. What are they telling us here? Who is here blind and deaf that cannot listen and cannot actually think of what is happening? I am really very sorry. These are my comrades. They are SPLM. Some of them were my own comrades when we were in the bush. And to be misled to this extent is very bad. I just want to stand firm that Martin Lomuro, is trying to be victimized by this group that are pushing different agenda completely. That is different agenda. And I have to be so honest to you here, because I'm talking to you as people of South Sudan who are attending this debate and discussion. We must tell truth out. Truth must always be so plain. Because why do you blame somebody who is telling what is happening? Why don't you blame the source of what has happened? The source is these people have decided to differ with the government and fighting the government, and they are civilians. Why don't you go to them and say, look, my cousin, my brother, my whatever, this is not the way you do. Literally, if you are a leader. So I am really dismayed, and this is how we should do it. Majuk, Madin Majak was very absolutely right, and I support him in this. I want somebody with different argument later on to come up so that we can exchange this conversation. Thank you very much. I yield back the mic to you, Madin Majak. I have already read the two corresponding statements, and I have known, and what you displayed here is correct, and that is it. That is the situation, by the way. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Duar. Appreciate it. Absolutely, you are absolutely right. We need to point out the reality, the facts, not like sugarcoat things. So let me welcome one of my guests in the studio, Michael Ngor. Welcome. Ngor, can you hear me?
Yes, thank you, Abraham. I just want to respond to Honorable quickly before you get in. Yeah, Honorable, I've listened to you very keenly. And the questions that you are posing here, Abraham did say before, and these questions has been posted in several platforms by everybody, questioning the honesty of the Nuer leaders who came out in unison to condemn Martin Lomuro. People are questioning them, where were you guys when White Army attacked the National Army and killed 400 soldiers in a single day? And I agree with those who still doubt about the statistics. The number is more than 400. Because if government accepts 200, then just know the number is 600. And if government says 400, then something more than that has happened. And not only the life of soldiers, even the artillery and the weapons our government wasted resources to buy them in order to protect the country were also destroyed. So completely, it was 10 out of 0 on government side. That question is valid, Honorable, and people have asked that question. People have talked several times since the incident happened. And if incident happened and these people did not talk, and then there is a way you should approach the scenario of Martin Lomuro. To be honest, Honorable, Martin was right to say whatever he wanted to say, but to go deep and tell our line in the Nuer counties I think that was not right of him to do so. And if that was the report given to him, and then whoever wrote that report messed up with the Martin and Lomuro integrity. If that is the report, whoever wrote the report has messed up with the Martin and Lomuro integrity. And not only Martin Lomuro, it will also go down to the President Kiir. If President Kiir sleep on the complaints of Nuer, then even some of your colleagues that you trust so much from Nuer, their trust will diminish and they will think otherwise. One thing that we all should agree is that why Nuer is so fractioned into these several groups. And that's why I differ with them. I also differ with them in the case of former Secretary General Peter Lambo saying we, the SPLM Nuer in Juba. That was a very wrong statement. But we are not looking into that now. We are looking at the complaint.
Simon,
whatever is that comes
where do you want me to send the link to you?
We always overlook that.
If you want me to send it to your email, send me. Just put your email here, and I will send it through your email.
So we may agree, Martin Lomuro was right, but to some extent, that is why you see people claiming that even government knows what Martin was saying. But to me, I cannot say the government.
Or send me in your inbox so I can send you your inbox. Simon.
The government has never categorized all the tribes based on their counties. No. That was the first time for me to hear it from Martin Lomuro. Otherwise, the word hostile is a normal word that can be used anytime. But what made it difficult to be swallowed by Nuer and overlooked? Maybe some of the reasons that I laid down before. Otherwise, the whole leadership of the people, and you will agree with me or disagree. You guys, you have problems, very big problems. What you say is not what you do. And what you do is contrary to what you say. And through that, especially this agreement, has actually reduced the trust of citizens to 0%. And when you see citizens living the way they live, it's not because the government has taken care of them or their security or their resources. It's just that they have nowhere to go to. So they have to stay until the right time comes, whether through elections or any means. And any means, nobody will support that. And the elections, we are waiting for it, and nobody is going for elections. You always give this IO green card to accept whatever they demand. And I'm pretty sure even the 2026 elections will not happen. It will not happen. You will still waste the resources. You will waste whatever thing you can. You will try to borrow money from here and there, convincing international community that we will be having elections. At the later days, you will say we have insecurity. We have no census. We have no budget. We have no this and this. One question to you, Honorable Dwar, out of this topic. When Dr. Wani was the vice president in charge of economic cluster, there was a serious delay of salary,
Major?
closely to 1 month or 1 year.
Major?
But now since Benjamin Bolmel stepped in,
Major, can you hear me?
Flow of currency. Where were those money for? And who kept those money before Benjamin Bolmel stepped into the office? There are a lot of questions many South Sudanese are asking. Then it means if we have money, then who was keeping that money for all those years? And if there is that money, then what denied us from developing the country? What denied us from going to elections? What denied us to do unnecessary things or requirements that constitute elections, like census, funding electoral commission? There is money, but somebody somewhere sat on those money. Until his interest is achieved, then that money will not be released. So please, as one of the government officials with the title of honorable, please highlight some of the few points where government is getting money right now. Yet our oil was just opened a few days ago. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Majok. Let me give this chance to Brother Michael Ngor. He having a network issue. Let me give this chance to him so he can weigh in. Michael Ngor, go ahead.
Well, good morning, good evening to wherever you are in. Thank you so much, Madit and Majok, to those who are in attendance. I understand our current situation, our current discussion is basically on the analysis of what had happened 2 days back and today. This is the situation. This is what we need in South Sudan. We need conversation and we need discussion like this kind. I really appreciate Lagos State media. Keep that spirit. And this is the kind. It is also part of the civil education on our issues. We have major problem. Our major problem is now the diminution of the problem, and that's what the late Dr. John Grant said last time. When you have wrong definition of the problem, you will never find a solution, and that's what we are in. First, Elias Lamoro did nothing in this unfolding situation because it is new normal. It is a normal thing, as Honorable Dwar put it, and you yourself has made it. It is only use of the terms. For politician and diplomat, those who are in the foreign affairs, they always use advisory. So what Elias Lamoro was put out was like advisory on political level on foreign affairs language. But the military language, they use friendly and friendly forces. And that's where he went wrong in. So the whole message was very clear. There's nothing. It is not all Nuer. And you would have to start your clarification as someone doing this kind of discussion on the basis of making some clarification on what had happened. So Elias Lomro was talking basically on 9 counties, not Nuer, even Nuer wherever was in South Sudan, outside South Sudan. Number 2, what the leadership should do as PLM as the ruling party, the team that has come up today as our senior cadres within the SPLM, or some of them are ministers in the government would also form another committee to investigate them because it was also part of blackmailing and conspiracy within the system of the government. Okay? So there's no point, as you put it earlier on, there's no point of them coming out condemning what Elias Lamoro did, and they have failed in the first place right away from the time when the SSPDF were trying to move from Malakal to Nasser. If they would have to play their own role as politicians, as generals of that particular communities, I hope all this situation would have not happened. It would have not happened, but they failed in the first place. So this team also need another investigation. They need to be investigated. If Elias Namoro is going to give the apology, then this very the same group shall also give the apology to the leadership of the SPLM and the government at the same time. And this is where we come back to the lack of understanding of the government. What is the government? Most of the people in South, they don't understand what is the government or what is the party. Okay, when you are in the government, you are confined. So the government, whether you are doing right or wrong thing, it is the role and collective responsibility of all those serving in the government to protect the integrity of the government, not in such a way. So it is a very simple issue, but people are making it because of our backwardness and this mindset of tribal allegiance that make this thing to be very hard situation. Otherwise, we need at least to keep this kind of a conversation and discussion, and let always remain on the topic. Okay, if you want to discuss some of the thing, you need to invite different people from different background. Like, for example, those who are in this forum now, those who are discussing, we're all Dinkas, right? We're all Dinkas. So we are supposed to have someone from Nuer, from Equatoria, another tribe of South Sudan, so that they also have their own inputs. For us to be to go forward, we must have our identity as South Sudanese in the first place, as South Sudanese. So we judge each and every one based on what he did, whether it is right or wrong. If you did something right and you are Nuer, you must be defended, you must be protected, and all of us must align under you. So keep on with your discussion, and I'm very sure it is a double standard thing, and both sides must be blamed. You must also blame the government, you must blame the other side, and you must also blame Elias Lomoro. Because Elias Lomoro has been doing a lot of things up and down, but not professional or not political even, because in politics you don't need to cause chaos every now and then. So it is also a land educated person, and he's also a senior politician who have been in politics for long. So he must learn how to speak on public issues. So up to this point, these are the few inputs. I want to appreciate. Maybe next time I will participate much on this and some of the topics that you shall bring on board. But keep the spirit and let it be so inclusive. So another advice is timing. So next time you need to regulate. If one want to speak, how many minutes should one speak? Number two, inclusivity, so that you try to engage people so that people come from different background. When we are discussing, we shall have a cross opinion and cross views, and then we put them together. So thank you so much. That is my take on the situation. Both team, Elias Lomuro must be condemned. The SPLM cadres who put themselves in such a dilemma of condemning Elias Lomuro in defense of what have happened, they also need to be condemned, and they also need to be investigated. And if I were the president, if you want to relieve Elias Lomuro, then the other ministers within that very group of the SPLM cadres who spoke today on behalf of the Nuer community must also be relieved, because we are not a tribal country. If you are a member of SPLM, you are a member of SPLM. Objective of the SPLM, they are very clear. So thank you so much for the time and for the discussion.
Thank you, brother Michael Moore. Yeah, thank you for your statement. Also, thank you for your advice. Thank you. Let us move back to Clubhouse. Then Kamis.
Yes, I'm available, Comrade Madid. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Let me just, I want to make it very quick before you open the floor to the rest of people that want to come up. Let me register my greeting to all audience, our listeners here, my brothers, Majuk Makur, Honorable Duarte.
Thank you, Michael Moore. You can go and then wipe the show. So I will move you down, and then you can go and wipe the show. And if there are people coming up,
I really appreciate my brother. The last speaker. I came in when Honorable Duarte spoke on the outstanding issue that you have brought up as a topic today, Comrade Madid. Thank you. And this was the reason why the last 2 weeks we told you to keep this platform open, because we have a duty, our due diligent duty for this country is still on the move, and it has to be done by us through the communication. Yes, we like to fight, but that's not the main source of the living that we should endure every day. Thank you. The reason why I agree with the last speaker, something is going on wrong here. The question was asked, and I think over the internet, you go everywhere. Comrade Elias Lomuro now has come to it's become a center of argument and political tension in the country. But the way I can look at it, myself, I would think there's something going on wrong here. Our people, they play too much politics into reality. We have all know. We knew something like this can happen anytime. But to identify the counties, I don't know, when you are doing an investigation, you have been given a time to investigate. So your investigation It starts from the crime scene, where the crime has taken place. But now we are talking about those incidents happen in those counties based on the evidence that we all know. It's always happened in everyone way. There's nothing new. The only one thing that can be requested, if I can say, yes, the government will take that measure into their own hands to give an apology. Apologies because of the tribe that are living there. It becomes viral now that the tribe is being identified as a mean of genocide. That's what I read on the paper, and I believe for us to do this work, for the government to do this work, is just an apology. And the last speaker said it clearly. Those who are members of the SPLM, the Nuer members of the SPLM, according to the paper, it's not even suiting the political position there. At least the community have an organization, they have leadership in Juba that would have taken care of it instead of the members of the party that took over and identified themselves as a tribesman as well. It's another case. How are we going to look at them when this problem is over? Are they going to be still the SPLM members, or are they going to be there as the Nuer members of the SPLM party? That's another question. So I believe it's another mistake that been made. But that investigation, I don't know how can you do your paperwork when you done at the end of the day. What do you put in your paperwork when you are doing an investigation? You put the identified area where there is a danger. There is a warning that will have a yellow and blue. All of those are there. So I don't see any problem at all identifying the red counties where there is a danger to the government, and the government has to protect themselves as well. We have not that number, as Majuk said earlier. There could be more than 400. That's a massacre. It's not a murder anymore. It's pure number five of people. When you have from five on the way, that's a massacre. So when people are being killed in the one place, at least you have only one or two, three, four that can be identified as a murder. So now, I think the government of South Sudan have not done anything wrong. If the government cannot identify where there is a danger, then how the citizen will know what government is doing? About a month ago, there was a lot of celebration that the government was defeated, and everything is being cleared up, and nobody can say anything. Now we are back in our feet, try to dispute every step that's being taken. As long there is nobody taking life anymore, I believe it should be lived that way. There's nothing that has been done wrong, and I don't even know how the members of the SLM party address the Minister Lomuro, and he's not even a member of the SLM party. He has his own party. He's a member of the government. He's holding a government post, but he's not a member of the SLM. So I do not even know Was that later concern about his party? Is supposed to be addressed to his party? Or what is it? It's very questionable. And anyway, we are all South Sudanese. Anyone can raise their voice so that they can be heard. There's no problem with that. If the government made a mistake, yes, it will be taken into account. But we should remember as well, as the last speaker put it clearly, those people, they will be surprised later on, and they have to give an apology by themselves because they are members of the party. They are not there as a tribe. They are there in their own membership, and you have right to leave that party anytime soon if you want to. But if you are there and identify yourself as a tribesmen that are members of the party, then you are actually causing another problem. So I will stop here. I was just in support of what Nuer said and of my comrades, what they have said. The truth is there. The only thing that I know the government should be responsible for it is just to stop the outcry and give an apology back to the society, to the community of Nuer. Give them an apology. That's all. That's what it can be done. But there's a lot of dangerous stuff that have been put in that document. That the Nuer have been identified for the future genocide. So what is that? So there are so many things, and now some people are showing their true colors, being two faces. When the incident happened, there's so many incidents happen in those areas. Where were they? Why they do not try to control them? Why are they not stepping up and go there? Telling those civilians, please don't do this. This country is belong to all of us, and nobody is against anyone. That is their role. And if they fail to do so, then we should be blamed here. They are part of the government. Who is the role of the what is the role of the government? If they are members of the party, they should play their role there effectively. If they are members of the parliament, they should visit those areas and talk to the citizens. Let them know what up. Yes, in the past, and they are being brought up. I'm going to stop here, Comrade Madid and Majuk and Dua. Thank you for the chance. Let me greet my brother Luke, who came up, and I want to stop from here. I yield the mic back to you.
Thank you, brother Denkomis, for your input. Let me, before I come back to you guys in Clubhouse, let me give this chance to one of my guests join me in the studio. Samuel, yeah, welcome. Glad that you made it. Welcome. So you get your turn.
Thanks so much, Mr. Madid. I'm happy to be part of you guys this evening or the morning. Actually, I would like to put some couples of comments in regard to 3 statements being issued by Nuer community leaders, and then the SPM leaders, and then the youth. They all their statement all centered on Martin Lomuro as an individual, as a person. And I don't know whether actually somebody was thinking for them or telling them what to say, or they were actually reading and were complaining on what Martin read out. Martin read out is strategic response of the government, of RT Gono, a committee of the peace in which he serves in as a secretary. It was not kind of remark where you give out during the kind of additional thing, or during when you're answering some question from the journalist. It was actually reading from the text, the real text, in words, in letters and spirit, as people say it, in terms of the agreement. And they fall short to tell us what does it mean to be hostile. What is being hostile? Is it about hating President Kiir? Is it being a rebel? No. It's not. What is not hostile if not attacking and capturing the Nasser SSPDF barrack? What is not hostile if not capturing Wulang County, forcing out those who are perceived to be government supporters, something like that? If Nasser and Wulang, let me say like that, Nasser and Wulang counties were not hostile, then why did SSPDF went in and capture? How did SPDF went in and capture? How? What happened? This tell you the people, not all of them, but people, the majority in with the peace agreement terms as they were prominent present. The majority of people who are there or who were there are not or were not in support of the government. And that's why they were captured. That's why those counties were captured. They flush out the SSPDF, the SPLM, and those whom they think was supporting the government. So if those counties are marked as hostile counties, doesn't mean that the government, Kalasinu government has disowned them. No, they were not. They are not disowned. But this is to say they are under control of IO. This is a simple term. Those are the counties under IO influence. The counties under IO command, the majority. In fact, if those leaders of the SPLM or Nuer leaders of the SPLM, of those youth or those elders, if they were actually in control of those youth or those people in those two counties, if they were having the responsibility over them, if they were under the control, where were they when Jeldeba Majur was in town for 4 days? Why they never called for a press conference and call on the people? Ajamara, please, don't attack, don't kill, withdraw, don't do this. Where were they? That means they were not in control of those counties. And those counties were hostile to anyone, including Riyadh, let me say, because Riyadh was saying those youths were not under his command, they were not IO. Those people who were there are hostile to everyone. If we want to say they are not IO, let me say that. If they are not IO, then they are hostile to everyone, including those people in Juba, including those Nuer, who claim to be like the people are being profiled. It is even a profiling to say Lomuro has done 1, 2, 3. Is it because Zola Kano the Zolbita Equatorial Yani Walashinu? He was reading out the government plan, the government position. And is there something wrong to mark this level 1, this level 2, this level 3, this level 5? No. And who doesn't know those counties are really under command of SPLM IO? Who doesn't know? Who? Include Nasir. I believe what might come from somewhere within Nasir there. Does he have control over that over those people? During that stand-up in March, where were these people? Where were the leaders? Where were the leaders? Those people may have an issue to settle with Martin Lomuro as a person. They want to score a political reason with him or political something with him. They should come clean, front door, and tell him you have done 1, 2, 3. But at this context, he did no wrong. He was reading out the position of the committee on behalf of the government. And he doesn't sit alone in that committee. He doesn't sit alone in that committee. So there is nothing wrong in which I believe the Minister for Youth, Culture and Sport later on actually gave clarification. He actually gave good remark that this is not about community. It's about counties and the IO, counties where the youth attack those areas, the garrison, the barrack of the SSPDF. It's about Nuer as community. It is not about saying those counties are rebels. No, they are not rebels. They are hostile to the government, as we have seen in Western Equatoria. If what's wrong is saying some counties are hostile? Are they saying that people in that county are rebel? Are they? Nobody say that. Nobody say that. But the fact remains, hostility if you don't respect government structures. You don't respect government plans and and like this is A and this is B. You want to think alone. Then you are not friendly. You are hostile completely. And that's the context in which Martin Lomuro spoke or read out the document. He did not do anything like, he didn't make any comment like what we do, like what we used to have from Mike Makwenwe. Okay, he was following what was in the paper, and I believe he did not read alone. He did not write that thing alone. So the leaders, those SPM leaders, Nuer leaders, and the youth were at some point miss the bigger picture. Miss the bigger picture. The hostility in which some counties were actually put on that category are paid to the behaviors of the youth of that counties in respect to attacking of the SSPDF barracks or the behaviors toward the government instructions of government thing. It's not about them being against President Kiir, or being against anybody. No, but that is the context. Lastly, I've seen actually my brother going off topic, bringing in the question of Dr. Benjamin Bolmel as the vice president now, and the salary is out and all this. This is completely out of topic. Actually, these other ethnic profiling. It's like telling or like saying Bolmel as a thinker, now things are working well. No, completely it's not. There may be, he might have seen some loopholes which the former vice president, Shared Economic Cluster, Dr. Professor Wani, might have not seen. He should be given credit for what he's doing. We should see him as a Dinka, he has done something good. No, he might have covered something there. So I actually don't want to talk on that. So I would want us to confine the whole thing to this. Our brothers, Nuer, let me say our cousin, as a Dinka, should not take anything when any person from the government says something, then they go attacking that person as a person. No, it should be treated as a government position, and then you ask the government for clarification. What did government mean by this? Not a messenger who read out position of the government. Mashke Makula, and I believe if they ask that thing, Mashke Makula tomorrow or next tomorrow will call press conference and will tell them, what did the government mean when they talk of hostile counties? What does it mean? They will be given. But they should not come with their own definition, with their own explanation, and say we are being ethnically profiled like this, like this. That is wrong. And moreover, those people in charge in Juba are not even in control of people they are depending there in the counties. They are not. From Bentiu to Nasser to Fanga to where they are not in charge of them. From the leaders in the county to chiefs to youth, they are not in charge of them. And that's why whatever government do there ain't about a fight. So this has not to do with Martin Lomuro completely. If somebody has to apologize, it is not Martin Lomuro as a person. It should be a committee where he's sitting as a secretary to give clarification. What do they mean? And actually, I believe in 2013, when a minister for justice, by then late Emmanuel Awela, divided those political detainees into groups. There's group A, group C, group D. Those with the charge of treason. What was it a problem? It was not. So it is for easy identification. And this is what Martin Lomuro has done. In a good faith. In a good faith. He did nothing wrong. He was giving people the real thing. Therefore, the majority of the counties in which he actually said they are hostile are really being controlled and commanded under full influence of the SPLMIO. No question about that. No question about that. We all know. So I will say those who have attacked Martin Lomuro and went on to the extent of calling for his removal are wrong. He did not speak for himself. He did not speak what is on his head. No. He read out the position as a government response. Such a government response. That is the title of the document. It wasn't from his head. It was from the paper to his mouth, not from his head to his mouth. No, he didn't say anything that. So we should not crucify him on saying what was told to him to come and give out. And you have seen him when he went for press conference. He wasn't alone. That means that paper was planned and was there. And I believe there were some Nuer leaders who were there. Okay? So the whole thing is playing a cheap politic and try to portray Martin Lomuro as a bad guy. He's not a bad guy. He did nothing wrong. And as he always says that he's working for the president, he's still working for the president. He did nothing bad. Unless people don't want to say what divides us. What divides us is what is unsaid, as was said by Dr. Francis Madingdeng. Unless you don't want to say unsaid thing. You cannot say Nassau County is a peaceful county, is friendly county. To who? It's friendly to react. It's not friendly to government, to IG. That's the fact. So when you say Nassau County and Wulang are hostile counties, have you committed any crime? Are you a criminal for saying that? No. Imagine 400 soldiers being killed. Are those people not hostile? What is composition of the white army, if not where? The Manu Foguna Sulu, Foguna Zanyuak, Foguna Wen. But Martin Lomuro did not go that far. He just mentioned the counties. And we know there was, even Commissioner Tawulang was forced to go out. If Commissioner of Nassau County is not hostile, why did the governor suspend him? The governor, Kong, Hesidia wrote a letter suspending the commissioner. And imagine, after 4 days, when David was in time until he was killed, he later on issued a letter or a press statement explaining what happened 3 days after David was killed. And imagine he was just a few minutes away from the tank where David was in. He was staying in the county headquarters, the official resident of the commissioner of the county. And he could not bring in the commander, let David Imaju to come and stay with him. He could not find protection. Is that person not hostile? If you could see the commander of the army being locked up in tank for 4 days, you are sleeping, eating, you are in your official residence, you couldn't call him in, you couldn't give him protection? Are you not hostile? So Martin, I believe, was so lenient enough. And I wish had Michael Lomuro had Martin had Michael Makwelo a letter with that statement, Michael Makwelo would have been even more hostile in reading out more than people are imagining this now. Martin did not go out of what was written. It was good. It was so lenient. So let us not bring his past mistakes. His past mistakes, we shouldn't bring it here. We focus what he said. That is government plans. That is government response to incidents. And even people are not focusing on something good in which he mentioned in that thing, that the government is planning to work hand in hand with the new interim leadership of SPLM-IO of Stephen Parr. Is that something not good? Is that something not good? Why are we not debating that part? The government is still for peace. Unless the government is reaching out to whoever, whatever faction of the SPLM-IO, which is for peace, government is willing to work with that part, to work with that people. Why people are not focusing on that part? Why? So we are cherry picking the whole thing to to suit our own interests. And that is wrong. And that is wrong. The government for peace, and they're willing to implement the peace agreement with whoever is for peace, with whoever is for the peace. Okay? If those SPLM-IOs, mark counties tend to be what friendly, after the government will do business with them. Nothing. Government did not disown them. Government did not disown the people from those areas. No. But they're being marked for level of business application. Is it wrong? I will stop from there. And actually, I appreciate you for adding me in to share with you my views. And this is it. I talked to a few of my friends who are Nuer, and I share with them, Ajamana, let us not being just like being chemical with the truth. Let us say the truth. Truth is truth. We should not just say, we should say this A and we say this B. This wrong. Martin has done no wrong. And indeed, I never wrote it before. I wrote it my thing. There was time the former secretary of the SPLM said it. Peter Lam, he said it. That Ajamana, the word that Nuer, if any Nuer person declares a war against Dinka, Nuer Kulu will go after him. Nuer will follow that person. That at the end of Peter Lam, if I declare a war against Dinka, another Kulu will follow me. This is a fact. 100% waging a war against Dinka from Nuer, majority of them will follow that person. Fact. Who doesn't know that? So how would you expect the 90% of people just to go sack Zeda? No. So I will.
Exactly this is what they did today. By issuing that statement, they have now acquired a lot of support from the people he was saying, from the Nuer people, including Iowa, by the way. I saw somebody, Honorable Red Moitang, praising the press conference very, very, very seriously. That this is what we have been saying, that we cannot generalize everybody to be Nuer. So look, the way they have talked, I am so happy, and all this, and he's Washington. He's an IO, and he was talking today. I was listening to him. So this is what was said by the former SG is what they have done today. They want actually to get majority.
Yes.
Network. We cannot hear you.
Okay. To finish my point, that is it. It is about.
Look at the people who were enslaved, those who were brought out from the tank, and after some few days of that conflict, when they have already dispersed the SSPDF, you see, they remove people from tank and they set them down. They were telling themselves, Woirodun, you just go away from here. And then they shot these people. They just screened them. Are they not outside honestly to speak? What humanity is that? So thank you very much. Let's call it spade a spade, so that we can reconcile genuinely. Reconciling without calling truth, that will not be a good thing. I don't want to be hypocrites. Hypocrites. It's very bad. I cannot work in a system, and yet I have where I go back and go and talk differently. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah, go ahead, Simon, to complete.
Yes. To finish my point, this is about actually scoring a political point, and that's why I'm not going to put it that way. That is the intention of those SPLM Nuer leaders, of those elders of the Nuer community, of the youth are trying to do. They're actually trying to get the support from the community, trying to display themselves as you know, these are the nationalists Nuer, Wotonin Nuer, okay? And that's wrong. How many bad things that had happened in Nuer counties that we have never seen them coming out? How many bad things happened? When David Major was killed, did we see any statement from them? 4 days before he was killed, did we see any statement from them? From the youth bodies, from the SPLM Nuer leaders, from all these people, where were they? And some of them, including James Hortma himself, come from I believe, from Nasir, from closer to Nasir, not Nasir County. Did he issue anything to them? That means nobody, when those who are doing bad things, all of them ran, all people ran away from them, from those white army. React ran away. These leaders, they ran away when they're doing bad things. And when the government is attacking them, when the government is saying something about them, they all come in their support. They now make them as their people, good people. They make them as, these are Nuer, you're making us like this. And when they are doing this, they are Kalas, they are white army youth. Nobody controlling them, they don't listen to anybody, they don't do this, they don't do this. Why? They should not speak from both sides of the mouth. If they have control of this youth, they should tell the government, we have control over this youth, and we shall do 1, 2, 3. If they don't have control over this youth, then they should leave government to do whatever government can to control them or to make them to understand. Behaving this A and B and C and F different days is not good. Complete is not good. They should not play politics with the lives of people. They should not play politics with our intelligence. We know what is there. Okay? They cannot come as one group when they want to get something. No. Yes, there's some Nuer general and the leaders who are generally serving this government, who are generally for the president, who are generally wanting to see the country going ahead. But some people are not honest. They are not honest. And that is why they don't want something that can bring good peace to the people. They want us to continue this cycle of endless war so that they continue getting what they can. That is wrong. In conclusion, there's no connection between what Martin Lomuro has said or has read out from the document and calling for him to apologize or to be released from the prison, for him to be sacked completely. You are like comparing apples with oranges. They don't make up. If Nuer community or some counties in which they mentioned, they don't actually make reference to community. Counties, if those specific counties, which were grouped as hostile counties, have a problem or have something to ask, they should write as individual counties and have the committee. Don't do a community, not where youth coming out and ask the president, no. The Waikoto guys has counties, and we know these are counties, and there's PLMIO. Who doesn't know this? So they should not come now when React is in house arrest. They should not come and speak ironically on behalf of Dr. React. Completely. They just want to put a curtain and speak on behalf of Dr. React. That's why we are calling these counties like hostile. And this is the same position the SPLMIO the deputy chairman, who is the SPLMIO acting chairman now, wrote, was complaining that some counties were categorized or grouped as hostile. Why? The same complaint they are following now. So where do they belong? Where do they belong? I will stop from here, and I'm sorry for taking my time.
Yeah.
But we should speak the truth. so that our people, our young people, should not be misled by this politician. We should speak the truth.
Thank you so much, Brother Simon, for coming to our media and put your what you see, what happening, and that's thank you. So let me go back to Clubhouse. Let's give this chance to Angelo. Angelo, go ahead with your 5 to 7 minutes. Thank you. Well, I see your hand, Dan Kamis.
I just want to ask 2 questions to Simon, the recent speaker, if you don't mind.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead if you have a question here.
Thank you. Simon, I hope you are getting me clearly. I have listened to you very keenly, and I have seen how you pour out your heart, which is fully attached with the loyalty beyond seeing tomorrow, and even beyond South Sudan as the country. You said Lomuro did not do anything wrong. Was it necessary for Lomuro to isolate? Now, wait, let me pose the question. Wait.
But they are not hearing you, but they know themselves. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
No, we are hearing him. So we are hearing him.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, we are hearing him.
Thank you. Sorry, so, was it necessary for Martin Lomuro to isolate some counties, and if it was necessary, under which article, under which investigation committee, and for what reason? For you to isolate some counties, there must be reason behind. And once they say this is their plan, we will all disagree with that plan. We will say that is not the plan. Then why do you say it was right to isolate some counties? What if he just decided to say this white army are hostile? I don't think whether there would be anywhere who would come out and condemn him or anybody in his right senses. Indeed, white army are hostile, no question about that. But isolating some countries, and those countries are accommodating or constitution of children, women, vulnerable people, and even some members of SPLM in those countries. To be honest, Simon, we need to think logically. Number 2, you said why I posed the question, which is not part of the topic. True and true indeed. And I said it before I posed my question to Honorable Dua. I said, let me pose this question to you, and I know it's not part of the discussion. The choice belongs to Honorable Dua, whether to answer me or to ignore me. And if to ignore me, I will still know what is happening. And for you saying that in a set of profiling Dinka, that Bola come in and is from Dinka, so things are going well, it's another profiling of Dinka. We have to give him credit. Maybe you have seen some loopholes which were not seen by Dr. Wani Iga. To be honest, do you really listen to yourself, Simon? What are those loopholes? If I may ask you, I have worked in that government for several times, and I know in and out. Number 3, the credits should be legitimate. A vague credit where you give in the exchange of buying loyalty to make your way to what you want to be. That is not credit. That is buying the soul of people and support of the citizens so that you can ascend to the throne. So please, let's not come here and try to blindfold us and make sure like we don't know what we are talking about. Most of us here know what we say every day. And we should agree to some point. No matter how we support, I support the government 100%. But at some point we should be fair enough. And if we keep supporting government very blindly, then that's why the government is losing it every time. In terms of economy, in terms of security-wise, in terms of development, nobody's going to talk about it. So please, don't tell me there were some loopholes. No loophole at all. Somebody somewhere was holding that money for South Sudan. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Majuk. Simon, you can go ahead and respond those questions.
Thank you so much. Thanks so much, Mr. Medit. I will start with the loopholes. You know, let us be appreciative of the efforts being put by each of us. If you compare the NRA report, by the time Dr. Benjamin took over, with what was there before he came in, you will find different digits. That tells you there were no proper this revenue collection. There were some reports, and indeed, when Dr. Benjamin came in, he outlined his plans. It is not about. He was talking of the oil recently. After Kureza, Lisa group was at Masalamo, Lisa, the money. But Dr. Benjamin made sure the promise of 24th every month is fulfilled. It knows where the money from the revenue, by the way. If it's only for the payment of the government salaries, the revenue collection NRA can afford that. If there is a strict supervisor, and that is what Dr. Benjamin did. He provided good leadership. He tells people what to do. And that's why he could able to pay the salary. He did not keep money somewhere to pay people with, but there was money. Can Mafi Darabas. And that's why he gets money. So there were some loopholes in which Dr. Benjamin Boldieu sealed completely. You denied it. It is unless you refuse to believe the truth. So I will leave you. Coming to counties, he complains that why did Dr. Martin Lomuro isolate some counties? That is wrong, my brother. He did not isolate the county. And by the way, to correct you, don't say why did Martin Lomuro as a person. Says why did the committee or the government? It spoke on behalf of the committee or peace implementation committee. He will speak as secretary of that committee, not on his individual capacity. What they did is not isolation. What they did was putting the counties into categories to know which counties are prominent present of the IO. Those I call hostile counties. And it is under peace agreement. The prominent present, you know, some counties, for you, let me educate you. The counties slot for commissionership were given to the party that has prominent present in that county. That's one asset fall to IO. Could have something called prominent present in that county. That means the majority of the youth or people are for that party. So what Martin did was simply to educate the people that these are the counties and this is what is there. These are unfriendly and these are friendly. Finish. A friendly county cannot tell the government. A hostile county can tell SPDF can do this, can do this. Doesn't it a rocket scientist to come and tell you that it doesn't mean this is a whole community. He didn't mean the whole community. He didn't mean that. And it doesn't mean the whole community are rebel. No. He did not isolate the community into bad people and good people. No. And this is in regard to the youth attacking and capturing and killing as SPDF. Why is it hard for you to understand? So Martin Lomuro did not, and I believe he wasn't intending to show hatred to Nuer. And I believe he has no hatred to Nuer completely, or to those counties. No, it was simply communicating the position of the government, and that is it, or what the government see. And indeed, and by the way, let's be honest, there is no punishment reserved for those hostile counties in that statement. The committee did not say those hostile counties we are going to, as a government, we are going to do 1, 2, 3 to them. Nothing. So what's wrong with you? If you are then you be labeled as A or be labeled as this thing. This is just labeling. Is it bad? Why is it paining you? And there's no something attached to that. That those hostile will be 1, 2, 3, or the hostile county are hostile because they are doing 1, 2, 3. Why would you want to take interpretation into your own way? What does it mean to be hostile in your word? Why? I will stop here. Coming to the selling my soul to go to the throne. My brother, I don't speak for the government, and I don't think I will want to speak for the government. I will speak for the truth. I'll speak for what I think can unite us. I'm not a person who could sell my soul to a hired bidder for some position or for some personal gains. No. I'm not Dinka, I'm South Sudanese. Though I'm Dinka, I'm South Sudanese. I speak what made me a South Sudanese. What can make me a South Sudanese? And I will not keep quiet. If I see you saying something wrong, if you are Nuer or you are whatever, I will call you out. And I do it to my fellow Dinka if they're doing something bad. So please don't think that I'm buying loyal to the government. I'm loyal to the government, but I'm not buying it completely because I'm not getting it so that I get something. I need nothing, but I need peace. I want to continue the peace, and that's what I want. If you say truth, I'll give you
Thank you so much. I think we are done.
Yes,
wrapping it in one.
Honorable, Simon, now that we are done, you have answered me adequately, but the issue of loopholes, I was working with the NRA, and I was holding the data. I was doing analysis of the data daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly. I know what was generated and where that money went to. So completely, money was there. And you say very rightly that money was there, but there was nobody working. I agree with you. Even the people who are working now that you assume to be working were the people taking money. It is simple and plain as it is. Lastly, you try to educate me about the IO counties and all that. That is not true. If Lomuro and his committee were trying to isolate the IO counties, they would have mentioned some counties in Equatorial region and in Barkazar region, and even part of Afanal region. But the issue here to why you see Nuer so furious is because the counties were isolated, in total 9 of them, and then they were categorized into hostile and friendly. And hostile is not a big word. I spoke earlier before you joined the show. I said this word is not a big word. If Material Lomuro would have said this word in some other time, nobody would have taken it seriously the way people are taking it now. Because it's normal. And this word is even normal than the word Michael McQueen speaks since 2015. But what made it hostile and people are talking about it now is because of the reasons I laid out before. And I don't want to repeat them. So for you saying that you speak the truth, you speak the truth and tell the truth hates you. And when it hates you, then you begin to say you are saying the truth. But the reality is, let's always speak the truth, even if it does not favor you. That is what they call truth. Even if it does not favor you, you speak it. Then you are speaking the truth. But if you speak when something is favoring you, and then go mute it when something is not favoring you, then you are not saying the truth. So that's what I will add to your thoughts, and always be neutral.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm happy that you have agreed with me, and we'll give chance to some other people to put in their opinions. And the only thing is, if the issue of only focusing on the Nuer counties was a problem, the best thing, and I believe they could have done, is to lodge the complaint or to put the complaint to the government or to the committee and ask, so that the committee can provide clarification of why only focusing on the region inhabited by certain community. But when you go in to call this is ethnic profiling, this is genocide, this is it should be sacked, it should be removed, it should be this, you have gone overboard. Okay, they would have asked patient or the government, what does this mean? Why only 1, 2, 3? In very respectful manner. And I believe Martin would have been served with his punishment in a good manner. That's why the committee have done this. What does it mean? Are the councils of IO only in Nuerland? Are these councils only hostile or what? Yes, there may be. Let me give you an example. At my own county, I come from Goran West. The commissioner of my county is from Sowa. Commissioner of my county is from Sowa. But it's not as hostile as commissioner of Nassau County. It's not. He cannot command the youth and attack the government installations, government official. No. But I respect the feeling of Nuer, but they would have asked in a respectful way the government or the committee to provide clarification on why are only the counties of Nuer being grouped as hostile. Why? If they want to know more. If they don't know that, they are also because they attack. Simple. Okay? But thank you so much for agreeing with me. I will leave your data, your analysis with you. I will not prove you that you are lying or not, but you have your data. But thank you for agreeing with me. And thank you very much.
So thank you. Before I let you go, Simon, there's a question that posed by Daniel. He asked you that why did Dr. Bol said as he has been appointed by president in government of South Sudan, the salary will be paying on time, where the salary is delayed to pay because Dr. Wani was a vice president in government of South Sudan. I'll answer that question in 1 minute, so I will let you go.
I don't speak for His Excellency Dr. Benjamin Bol. Neither do I speak for the government to know why, but the simple truth. If you make a simple arithmetic, the employees, the government employees from all the states, how many people are employed by the government? Look at the salary and then compare to what we get monthly from revenue collection. Very small number, very small amount of money. Okay? The problem was just only management. Dr. Bol, as a person from the business background, and as a person who was actually in the government, he knew everything. And that is why he made a promise. He made a promise and he implemented it. He knew there was money in NRA, and he did for his homework before making a public promise. And that's why he's not getting any difficulties now in implementing his promise. There was money. The problem was only leadership. There was no leadership to hold those people to account. They were not being strictly followed. They were left to loot at the free time. But when Bol came in, there were strict rules. You do this, you do this. And I believe if you could ask some of government officials, they will tell you there were very tough rules given to them by Dr. Benjamin Bol. If I heard about you, I will make sure you're out, you must go to jail, and you must go to court. Okay? You must go to court. These were serious and tough orders. So there was money. And I believe if we work toward helping him, all about helping Dr. Benjamin Bolmel, I believe the issue of salaries, everything will be fixed. He knows where the problems, he knows how to fix them. Okay, I'm not talking as a thinker or as a person. I come from neighboring state with him, but that's the truth. I don't know much about him, what he was saying, but there's money from NRA. I have also some data from there. That is, I hope I've answered the question from Daniel Emabeng.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Simon, for coming in and put in your perspective regarding what the the topic. Thank you. So have a wonderful day. Let me go back to Clubhouse. The next speaker, I think, Angelo, are you there?
I'm here, brother Medic.
Yeah, you can go ahead with your 5 minutes.
Okay, my greeting to you and to the South Sudan Eagle Media for opening this room. And my greeting to Majok, your co-moderators, and all the panelists and listeners. Your topic, Taban, the topic, MCD, because we all, full enough, we saw the statement by Nuer community in Juba. We also listened to their press conference. And I also listened to those who contributed earlier, including Honorable Duar. But to make a little bit comparison, when the rebels led by Dr. Riek Machar, when they first signed agreement with the government, first thing they signed was memorandum of hostility. Mean they have to stop the hostility. I believe what Dr. Martin Lomuro has done with the RT Gono is to identify where that memorandum of hostility was violated. We know in the social media, those countries that were mentioned, the one army there with the IO should remove the government appointed commissioners and they installed their own commissioner. Some of the commissioners were suspended and they did not obey the suspension, and they stated publicly that we are not obeying this suspension. Those countries are where the war took place. The one army with the IO, they attacked the government forces. They killed more than 400. Those are hostility. Government has to identify where those hostility took place. Of course, it was not left. Of course, it was not Mayong. Though their commissioners are still there, they did not. The one army there did not remove the commissioner. That's one point we need to understand. One point, people say it's not only those 9 countries where the problem is or where the insecurity. It's only those 9 countries actually is where the commissioner, the government appointed commissioner will remove youth. So there was a fighting between the community back then in Point. Point people did not remove the commissioner. That's the difference between what happened in Point and what happened in Nasser or Wulang or Pangat or Akoba. Different. Third thing, in the statement of Dr. Martin Lomuro, he did not mention the community called Nuer. Just talking about the counties. And actually, those are the counties where the commissioners will remove. Those are the counties who are acting, collecting money illegally. Counties, they have their own government. They don't report to the government of South Sudan. I mean, they are hostile. And those governments, those countries, if the government appointed a commissioner, they will not welcome that commissioner in their own country.
Michael, the link, I pinned down the
policy.
link. You can just click the link and then I can able to bring you.
This is not.
So there's no way I can send you a
This
link.
is not isolation of the community.
Just click the link that I pinned down.
There's
There's a link there. Just press it. You can able to come.
Is identification to find out where the problem is. What can be done to solve that issue? Coming to the Nuer cities in Juba, declaration that Minister Lomuro is unfit for office and should be removed. I think they have their own agenda. Agenda is actually what Peter Lambos said one of his speech. That Nuer people, if you took arms against the Dinka, they will follow you. This is what they are doing. This is what they are doing. They try to get a support from home by coming out. That your people will think that they are actually for them. But truth is, when there is issue in Nasser, IO members in the parliament in Juba, they came out to the press conference, condemning the government and supporting the One Army and the IO in Nasser. But the SPLM MPs in Juba, the Nuer SPLM MPs, we never heard of them. They did not make a contrary press conference. The leader of the Nuer, the president of Nuer community, who is James Hosmai, he has never say anything about what was going on in Nasser or Wulang. Not even twice as a president to actually to call his community publicly and tell them, don't do this. This is not good for the country. It's not good for the community, and we should listen to the government. He did not say that, and that's bring a lot of questions. Actually, is Hosmai actually against the president, or what is he doing? A lot of questions that would question Hosmai. Even when his son-in-law actually was going after the president personally, I never heard him saying, "My son, what you're doing is wrong." So I begin to question Hosmai whether he is actually part of the problem in South Sudan. One thing that Lomuro said, he said that the parallel army should not be supported. But that's true, because the War Army and the IO are supported by the resources of South Sudan. Carry out actually atrocities against the same government. And that's have to stop. That must stop. And that's why these countries were identified. If anyone here and just want to be liked by South Sudanese, thinking that is telling the truth, I don't think so. And with that, my brother, I think I finished my time. I will stop here. Thank you.
Thank you, Angelo. Let me move very quick, but run out of time in the studio. Luke, are you there? Okay, Luke, if you are not there, let me move to Jerome Riali.
Yes, yes, Madit, thank you. Yes, let me to start by greeting the panelists and also the people in the floor. You know what, This is like maybe third room or maybe fourth room since this statement came out from Martin and Lomuro a few days ago. And we were actually so much, shocked to hear, a description of hostile and friendly, and those terms are actually being categorizing somehow, a very, a very delicate, situation of our country. We, this is also is like dividing even the claim of the, not the opposition, but even the claim of the government. Some of us who are actually in government side, we are actually, or just perhaps the SLM party, who will rather ask some questions, when you actually, draw a line of conclusion and come up with that sort of statement. It looks very, very confused. And I believe somehow the statement was maybe presented in a very poorly manner rather than was something being studied carefully. Because we know, yes, in that area of part of South Sudan, there is a white army, right against the government. In few months now, they've been like a state of war in that area. Yeah, Madis, let me just maybe I pause the line. I'll come back because I'm just attending something here.
Okay. Okay, sound good. Let me move to Attack. Attack, go ahead with a 5 minute.
Thank you, Madis, Majok and Majak from Majok. It's spelled the same. Majok, greeting to you and all the moderators and the speakers and the audience. I just want to Simon say something that I little bit disagree with him before I get to the topic, because I think this is a really interesting topic and very important topic. Simon said that about the salaries, that Bolmel implement the salaries. The problem is this is new one. It's not accurate that the salaries are all being paid. When Bolmel came, he said that the first thing that he's going to do was to implement the salaries. And then 8 days later, on 21st of February, that pledge changed, and he changed it to that beginning of March, salaries will be paid on the 24th of every month. They paid February salary, he paid March salary, and he also paid April salaries. But when Bolman was, before he came in, there was 15 months of no salary. Okay, Bolman said that that the commitment has now been fulfilled with 100% of the salaries for both March and April being fully distributed. This was back in in March, I think. But what about the 15 months of the salary that predate him? Okay, because that was what he was going to solve. He's going to solve the problem that predated him of being in position of vice president. He has not solved the 15 months of salary. That I think is really important to really understand before we start to praise Bolmel that somehow delivering salary. Yes, it's good that everybody has done in terms of delivering 3 months of salary, but people were complaining of the 15 months of salary before he was put in. Those salaries not being paid, and even if they were paid today, the inflation has eroded the money value. Okay, so whatever people could have bought with that money 15 months ago, 2 years ago, it's not the same to what they can get today, because the money has pretty much inflation has destroyed the currency. So I think that's really important for the government to address and Bolmel to address. And I think it's a deception, because to say that you have 100% implement the salary and talk about ongoing salary and not talk about the people were complaining about past salary. That's what the complaint was about. It wasn't really about the future salary. Future salary is easy to do. 3 months, that's it. Okay, or 2 months and then now 3 months. But what about the 15-month salary? That has not been paid. Okay, so the topic why I think the government, I disagree with the government with a lot of things, to be honest, corruption and, I've just demonstrated with this salaries issue. But I think the government is in the right in this stage in terms of declaring the areas, hostile. And because, again, guys, a lot of soldiers were killed by White Army in IO. And I think it's the government right to say that these areas have White Army. They have active, IO who are hostile to us. Because, and again, if you are a soldier and you're sent to those areas, or you're a politician and you're sent to those areas, and you're saying that you're not, these areas are not hostile, these politicians, especially those Nuer politicians who came out, I bet you they will not go to these areas with no security. They will not. Okay, why would they not go to those areas with no security? Why do they travel in Juba with no security? Okay, if there was no measure of some level, okay, there's hostility, there is insecurity. Of course, there is that. So I think the government is absolutely right to say that. And the way that it's not tribalism, okay, that this is nothing. If you look at Lear County, Riek Machar come from Lear County. Why was not Lear County not hostile? Why would they not put in a hostile category? Where Riek Machar, the chairman of IO, okay, who's in prison, why was this county not put in as a hostile? Okay, because the government is being fair. It's been able to identify the areas that they believe there's a hostile, and that is the right. I mean, if you are a soldier, the government would be negligent to not tell the population or the army or the government officials or local, local government officials that there is the increase of insecurity. Okay, why would they not tell the population there is the increase in insecurity? And these are, areas of hostile areas where IO is operating, where White Army are actively operating. They're not saying that the entire civilian population is hostile. That's not what they're saying. And I think this guy, this group, the local leaders of Nuer community, I think they're making that mistake because and when as many people point out, when the soldiers were being killed, where were they? Why did they condemn? What was going on? Okay, 400 soldiers, government said, including the wives of the army of soldiers, the children of soldiers were killed. Okay, and they did not say anything about it. I think what is happening is that they're saying this now because I think they're getting pressure from the community, and I think the government could have said that there is an outbreak in some Nuer community or some Nuer county, and they would have said that's profiling. They would have said that that's genocidal. I mean, it's so absurd at this point to call it the government is trying to do a genocide or trying to, this is the only reason why they would say this is a hostile or friendly county. Maybe they're trying to protect the soldiers, and that's the job, to protect the soldiers, okay, and government officials. So why, to me, I think it's just beyond me why people are thinking the way they are thinking. But I think it's this pressure. I would, if the government were to fire Dr. Martin, I think this would the government would lose confidence actually, and I think it would actually, it would totally, it would totally, like the mask would be lifted up from the government. It would be like the emperor has no clothes, okay? Because now, I think because then then it's obvious that the government is being bullied into that, and then it's obvious that the government really has no authority, because if you're identifying friendly and hostile communities because White Army operates there, because the people who have killed your soldiers, IO operate there, and
I have a question here. I'm not interrupting. So, moderator, I've been here for 2 hours.
Look, you get a chance, my brother. I'm almost done. So, if
Well, you just came here. I don't know.
Look, I called you before. I called you, but you didn't respond. That's why the line was moved.
Yeah, I think also when the government took over Lulang County, they praised the community. You can go and look at that article up on Daily Community. They said that the community was one of the partners in terms of helping them secure the area. So the government is identifying that the women, when they identify that the Dulam County is a hostile community, it's also a community, but the hostility is not from the civilians. I think that is what these people are trying to mislead the population, and not to say that somehow the government is saying that the entire community of Hunan, for example, is hostile. But why did the government, why did the general praise? Why did they praise? The community when they took over the town? Okay, so I think, and then also, Lear County is a friendly county. Okay, it's labor friendly, and Lear County is where Young Machar comes from. So if the government was profiling in a negative, in non-honest and a way not to protect the soldiers, because a lot of soldiers are being killed, hundreds of soldiers are being killed, then why would they not identify Riyadh Machar own county? Angelo, your mic is on. So to me, I think that no problem. That point of them not identifying Riyadh Machar County, this is a case closed. This is case closed because it's nothing to do with the community, and the fact that they recognize the Ulang community in helping them secure the area. That means that the government do know that the community is not the civilians in the community are not the same thing as the White Army and the other government and IO. They're not the same thing. And I think some Nuer people they are implying that White Army is the Nuer community, and the Nuer community is White Army. Yes, White Army is exclusively 100% Nuer, but that does not mean that the civilians, okay, are part of it. And I think that the people who are trying to make it that if the entire White Army is the entire Nuer community is represented by White Army is the Nuer official Nuer in Juba. The privileged, the elite community of Nuer are trying to make the two the same thing, and I don't believe it's the same thing. The innocent civilians are innocent civilians, and White Army is different to Kurazai. So those are my points. Let's see, guys.
Thank you. Luke, are you there?
Yes, I am here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Good. Yes, a second. All right. Okay, you guys can get up. Yes, I'm here. Thank you so much, Madid. I think you are the two moderators here, and our friends, General and Attacks, then, and all the listeners down there. I would think I'm not being lucky enough to get a chance after Honorable Diwar left, because I will have a combined question that I will ask somebody who was talking behind through Madid a while ago. I think the name was Simon. I don't know if he's still listening. Listening right now.
He's left. He's not in the studio, but probably is why he's still listening in.
Okay, good. All right. Well, look, politicians make statements, and given that they have a national portfolio, their statement always been taken seriously. Because what makes them important not because of their person, but because the national portfolio that they are holding. And that's why last time during the Nasser incident when the two generals went to the community in military fatigues and all that stuff and make those statements. Those were also disturbing statements. So I know we will say we are a young nation and all that stuff going on, but we are also a member of the nation. Well, what we do matters by Honorable Lomuro, I think, yeah. Assume that not his own statement is just a messenger, okay. But also, if that would be the justification that we tend to say here, but he's a messenger that has a national portfolio, so therefore he's responsible. That's why in a country or law, a person of that portfolio, when they make a mistake of this nature, there's no room. We're not going to execute them, but we're going to ask them to leave. Okay? So those individuals in the Nuer community that came out with that call, they are doing their national duties. Now, for those of you that may have issue to understand the meaning of profiling, let's just take this, because what happened in Nasser, it doesn't happen all over the country. It happened in one spot that we know. Okay, for the government, that can be the hardest spot, or as they term it, hostile spot. They may have the right to say that. Okay? If they do it exclusively, they can say that, and that could be understandable at some point, because that's where now the government has hard time to control the situation. Rebellion is everywhere, so it can happen anywhere. Let's take, for example, when we fight with Jalaba. Jalaba knows, the support that the SPLM got is almost 90% or 100% from the South Sudan. With some people, they now recall not the Nuba Mountain or Blue North. But you can see how careful they were, right? Nobody will care. They will never map. Always make group. They'll say, well, this is, the Nuer or the Dinka or the people of Equatoria. So they can map their hard spot that they know that hostile. That's where there is active confrontation on both sides. Those are the hostile areas that they can. But now, when you have a national minister will come up in public with the map, with the whole community called Nuer, mapping, the hostile and the non-hostile, you can even ask yourself, is this person mapping where the IO is, or where the IO is not, where the IO is hostile and where the IO is not hostile? And if that's the case, that IO only exists in Northern community, because we have IO in Warab, everywhere in Equatoria, that's IO. Now, that is the mapping that IO is hostile, through their affiliates. You may call them a YM, as people keep saying. That now you can ask yourself that critical question. Why all those places were not mapped up? That is why the mapping by itself is a crime. It is a typical crime. I heard somebody in the Simon talking, and Honorable Diwar was talking a while ago, that it is a government plan, and that means that's a government policy that by itself is intended genocide. Genocide is not when somebody got killed; it is intentional.
Look, what if they were mapping White Army? White Army is not in other Dinka area, what if they were mapping out where White Army operated?
Okay.
Would you have a problem with that?
Okay, hold on. Okay. If they are mapping up the White Army, it looks like now your mentality, so the White Army is a Nuer and Nuer is White Army. So hold on, let me finish my point. Okay. So you bring the example of left, there's no White Army there. Okay. So you can even map, if that is the government try to figure out where the White Army is, they can pinpoint it, where it is active. We do have the SPLA last time, the Jalaba didn't do that. They know SPLA get all the support all over across the South Sudan. They would never say, the SPLA is a Dinka thing or the Nuer thing or whoever thing. No, they can't do that. Okay? That would be intentional crime. What rests the question here that is now a genocide plan behind this is the mapping. Or if this mentor could just say, okay, as we speak now, there is an active White Army in this country. Of course, that could be understood. All right? But when you take the whole community as a package, you have the friendly and non-friendly, that's a typical profiling there. To take it to Anaccord on this planet, this monitor and the government that is represent will be killed. I don't know how you're going to defend this. And I thank Brother Majab with his point. We need, if we want to build a nation of all of us, it has to be a nation of truth. Okay? So we cannot, condition on the truth. Because I favor this side and then I have to condition the whole truth. That's not right. So in my view, if we could have a government that is responsible, this minister, even though he's not doing his own job, it is something that has been given to him, and he's maybe very smart enough that you think he's so smart and you went ahead with it. Maybe, to please whoever designed the thing. If we are a country of rule and law, this meant that it should resign. And I heard some people try to mix things. They say because what happened in that thing should not be mixed up. We are now, because that's what's killing us. Sometimes we say 91, sometimes we say 2016, sometimes we say this. We don't treat things as they are, as current, right? So the statement of Ilya, very intentional. It has been mapped, and I heard Honorable Duarte saying a while ago, that's the job of security. Of course, that's a job of security, and that's the security job in the country. The security also have intentional genocide in mind by mapping one community.
So,
okay,
look.
This is a good Nuer, and this is a bad Nuer.
So look, you keep repeating about mapping. Is it mapping or mapping?
Huh?
Mapping. What do you mean about mapping or mapping?
No, map. Do you know map?
Okay, map. Okay. Okay.
This is mapping. They have, if you know map, this is the Nuer land. They map it. They say, okay, in a country called South Sudan, and our map, this is where the problem is.
Okay.
And so now the problem is Nuer.
Okay, let me ask you this. Look, you said that this is a genocide. That's why they're mapping the territory of Nuer area counties. They mentioned that Nuer have 16 counties. And you said they are mapping this area so that they can wage genocide. So I don't know where you get your genocide people, and that's what I'm seeing a lot of Nuer brothers, sisters are talk about the genocide. These people, this place be mapping for the government with genocide. Let me say that I believe you are in diaspora somewhere. Okay, when the police, I'm giving this hypothetical series or effects that if you are believing you are in Western world like me, you will probably go understand what I'm saying here. If the police, look, if the police uh, chase somebody or if there is a crime committed, like a gang or somebody, there's a shootout in some of the areas, some of the county, or the police is chasing one of the person, whether it is a black African American, let me put that way, and then or you are bystander, or you were witness a crime scene, you were in crime scene, you call the 911, and you describe the specific person. Number one, you describe the location, a gender person, what clothes this person wearing, is the male and female, all kinds of stuff, right? Is he wearing a gun, all kinds of stuff, description. Okay. And where he's from, okay, which area he's belong to, all of this specific information. The police collect all of this. That's a part of investigation and part of the crime scene that collect all evidence. So why I'm giving you this, what I'm seeing here on this report, the remark from Dr. Martin, they are not talking about genociding the Nuer people. Look, can you mute yourself? Is making a echo. So they are not doing what they are doing. They identified the area, the high spot where are the problem in. Okay, those 9 counties that they point out that they are hostile to the government. They are the places they see that there is insecurity in that area. There is hostile toward the government. So this is the places, if you can see those 9 counties, that's why they just want specifically where are the problem at. Okay? That's why I'm giving you that example. When the police see there's a crime, they will identify this person, where the location is, and where this person belongs from, and what happened, etc. This is what the government is doing here. It's not just like government, okay, identify these nine counties as unfriendly to the government, so they will wage war. Genocide in their area. That's number one. Number two, this is the question that I'm going to ask you, and I asked earlier. Now, the Nuer leaders came out condemning the remark, the statement that made by Honorable Ministry, Communist Affairs Martin Luyasmo. So when the conflict start for the Nasser issues, way back, these issues been way back since February. Okay, where were these leaders? Why they didn't come into the public to like they did today, to condemn or to call for the peace dialogue between SSPDF and White Army and IO in Nasser, so that what happened in Nasser should be stopped earlier. There would be no loss of life. But they didn't. They were silent until this incident happened. But now, when the statement made by Dr. Martin regarding about this, that's all hostile. Now all the Nuer community come out condemning it. Okay? And the definition of hostile is not that if you can go and define definition. Hostile is adjective. It's unfriendly. That's the meaning of it. Unfriendly. There's no big deal. You guys add some of your own word into it. Profiling, ethnic profiling, genocide. These are your own words. These are not the word from Martin Lomuro. The definition of hostile is a dislike or unfriendly. You can dislike or your, for example, your girlfriend, if your girlfriend, her parent will dislike you. That's the definition of hostile, Junubin. What does it mean if someone is hostile to you?
And they can be hostile if they put their hand on you too.
Yes, exactly. Aggressiveness. Yeah.
Yeah, brother Mandit. So
I will yell him back. You will talk. So because we are want to define what the hostile is. Because there's what I getting here, there's no any genocide, there's no any ethnic profile for the definition of hostile. The definition is very clear. The person is aggressiveness or unfriendly. That's the meaning of hostile. So where are you guys getting from? So you put in your own Shetta and Millet into it so that you can make it a big deal out of it to make a case. But you guys leave the big picture, the very big bold picture. What happened in Nasser? Killed a lot of people. But you make this simple word have this definition as a big deal, so that you want to cover up what happened in Nasser. That's what's going on here. Go ahead.
Yeah, brother Madis. So I don't know if you asked your question yet. So what I'm seeing that seems to be the rational, to rationalize what the minister have said publicly is that people that are from the government side should not take the position on this. It seems that seems to be your question, even though I didn't ask it. But let me put it this way here. The term profiling, it is just when a particular group in the society has been labeled or doing something that is contrary to other people. And what it means, I don't know if you are in America or
not. But the profiling, Dr. Martin Luther didn't use the word profiling. He used the word hostile. If you want to find a definition of hostile, just talk about the hostile. Don't talk about the profiling. The profiling is the word that you guys come out of it. It's not, you put that, do not put that word. No, I need to make you to go along.
Allow me to print my point.
Yeah, you will print your point because you are defining the definition of profiling. That's not the word we are talking about here. We are talking the word of hostile or unfriendly or friendly. Those are the two words.
I don't understand what you're talking about.
Okay, and okay. That's what I want you. I want you to put you on the right, because the word of filing, and I think that's coming on genocide is your word. It's not Dr. Leah's moral word. Okay, go ahead.
Let me make the mistake. If you can let me finish, that would be great. So that will make it more civil here. So what I'm saying here, the word profiling, what it means. When you select a group of people and you brand them with something, even if it's something good, that's the profile. Let me say, in all those countries, the good,
okay, so who said the word profiling? Look.
Hold on, brother.
No, because I don't want you to move forward. I want you to correct this. Who said the word profiling? There's no, I have, but look, while I'm talking to you, I have a paper in front of me here. The press paper, those things. There's no word of profiling here. So where are you getting your word of profiling?
Yes, can I finish?
Yeah, you will finish. Yeah, you will finish, but do not talk about the word profiling. Because if you want to talk about the hostile.
Unless you want to put a word in my mouth and then I can.
No, look, you didn't get my point. You are now talking about the definition of profiling, which is not. There's no word of profiling in Dr. Martin Luther Morrow's statement. We are talking about the hostile. And the definition of hostile. Yeah, the definition of hostile. There's no profiling in it.
Hold on, brother. So if you can be, I know you are the boss. You are on green. Please don't
No, it's not the
mic.
boss. It's not the boss. It's a wrong from right. I even can give you a green. I can even give you a green. Green is not a problem.
Because we don't want to bore our listener here, brother. Because I think this.
Yeah, because I don't want you to do a propaganda. This is the wrong place. If you want to do propaganda, this is the wrong place.
All right. Okay. Let's do it this way, because I think the topic here, it might be a wrong place why the topic is put here, because they say the new leadership declare, okay, this minister, as unfit. Okay. So you can understand, because the topic, that's what we address here. The Nuer will be so dumb enough if they don't give a reason as to why they are saying this. Okay? So they are saying this leader, they are saying this because, when you label people, that's the word profiling come from, labeling. If you say these are good ones and these are not so good, you already profile. That's the word profiling is all about. So let's say here, in those countries that's been mapped out in South Sudan as the friendly and the hostile, these are the Nuer countries. Let us assume that there is Chiluk in Bantu, okay? Because Bantu, including also, Faring and Abiamno, okay? This is, what Bantu is. Those two countries are out on the picture. They are not there. They didn't mention them there, whether they are friendly or they are hostile. That tell you the intention has been expedited exactly for a particular community.
What about Akobo?
What is that?
Akobo.
Akobo, of course, is Nuer. 90%. Maybe 100% is Nuer. So,
what did you do to the natives?
Okay. All on is 90% or 100% is Nuer. This is what we know. But let's do it this way. The thinking here that the Nuer are addressing is not because the minister said that it had its part in the country. That would be okay. If you could be smart enough, if you could just leave the family one blank, you even say them. If you could say those, the government thing now have problems. Of course, the Nuer community leadership will have a hard time to come up, even though it is also become a problem. Okay? Because the government who is responsible should not act that way. Okay? If they're mapping the IO is everywhere in the country. That is where we say this minister is unfit and thus he should resign. If we have a law, but still we know there's no law. That's why some of you are now thinking, the people who are raising the concern need to be investigated. Okay? So I don't know how we reason here. Okay? So when you are in a position of this nature, what you say is for the public. People can see it. There's no cover. You cannot cover it as we can saying, we can bring heaven and earth, saying that what you say is right. Of course it's right because we don't say right thing in our country. If we could say the right thing, we will know here this minister, and as Odwar and Simon say a while ago, this is what the government say, and this is the government policy. Okay? This is the government policy against a particular community in the country that amounts to a genocide intention.
Look, you said Akobo was 90% to 100% Nuer. Akobo is actually 44% Anuak, actually. So I don't know where you got 90%, whether you genocide the 44% out of Akobo completely. But it's not true.
Well, I might be ignorant, so that's fine. I'm not from Akobo. I'm somewhere in South Sudan, okay? All right. So that's where the point of departure that we are talking here about is all about. The Nuer community see this thing really as a deliberate target of a particular community. Okay? It is beyond politics. It is now, the Nuer community takes this one as an essential threat to the community. Because you locate The New Year, that is New Year, that is New Year. So these Nuer are good, and these Nuer are hostile. You profile the community, and that is by law. Okay? So our call for these gentlemen to step down is the right call. Here, I don't know if this is another outbreak here or this is South Sudan evil. So my conclusion is those who are saying these people can be investigated, can be do the thing. You can do it because South Sudan you can do other things that you do, but you investigate the people who are saying the right thing. Like somebody like James Ross has been a SLM forever. Okay, does he have the right to say, hey, my community should not be labeled this way? Yes. All of you here should say this. If that will be your community that has been labeled here the good and the bad, unless, I don't know, you don't live on us. So you
but why didn't they condemn the government soldiers being killed? Why didn't they condemn that?
Look, you are now jumping the point, okay? We are now addressing the issue here.
They were quiet. And now they're looking for people to try to get support from the Nuer community. That's why.
Attack, let me add something to
let
me add something to your question. Look, I just want to add one question. Thank you. What I want to add, the question is simple. You are saying it's better for this guy to respect our call and step down. Is it the only way that you can actually present your grievances for him to step down? That's number one. Number two, was he elected by anybody or was appointed? Thank you.
Okay. Can you say the question number one? Because I have a network problem. I didn't hear it well, my joke. Can you repeat that?
I'm asking, is it the only way you can present your grievances for him to step down, or you can take other legal means?
Okay, good. I got you right now. Okay. Well, look, if my job today is a minister, you represent me, you represent everybody. The only way that your word makes sense to me because you are a minister. Okay? So you talk on a capacity that you holding in a nation. So that one gives you a power, gives your word, attention. So therefore, the Nuer community are taking that power out of this guy. If we're going to pursue him legally, we're going to pursue him at the individual level. Those are the two things. First of all, we are telling him, you abuse your power as a minister for saying this. Okay? So since you abuse, the only power that your word weight have a weight is because you have that ministerial position. So therefore, you step down. That's very that's civilized thing that you do in any government that is responsible. As far that he's elected or she's appointed, those also they are in substance. If she's appointed, because in South Sudan everybody has been appointed except with, I don't know who is not appointed. Even now, even the Payam person is appointed. All right? But still we tend to call ourselves a country of law and country of government, even though our system is not what it's supposed to be. Of course, being appointed to that position as a national minister. So therefore, there's no two ways to look at it. Okay? I don't know if you in your question you want us to go target a person who appointed them, say, hey, because you appoint the wrong person, you are a problem. That person is reasonable enough, you will say no. He is a national minister, he's been appointed to do the duty. So therefore, for us, so I don't know if I answer your question. I think that's where I look at it.
Can I have a very quick question, Comrade Mijo?
Yeah, go ahead with your question, Deng Hamis. I'm about to close down. We ran out of time. Yep.
Okay, it's going to be very short. I will make my last remark when you answer my question. Comrade, look, I'm asking my question to you. The document that being presented, condemning, at the same time calling for resignation of Minister of Cabinet Affairs, is being done by on behalf of the Nuer SPLM members. So now, is this the position of is it going to be a position of the Nuer in the SPLM, or is it going to be a position of the community when the result comes back? So who is going to be addressed by the government and the minister himself?
Yeah, I think that's a good question, rather than. But the point that that relates to this is these people, including somebody like Gerald, who is now a chairman of that community, because that's what happened now in South Sudan. I heard even the people are the chairman of the community, right? That also needs to
Look, your voice is gone.
my voice gone.
Okay, you're back.
Okay, sorry. Okay. The question that Dan asked is a good question. Okay, but now you're asking how this is going to be addressed. Let's take this in South Sudan. I think it popped up in 2016, in which the government tried to get attached to the community. So the people who are in power also being the people who represent the community, because it seemed like the community was running away from this. And that is the policy of the party, of the SPLM. I heard even the Chief Justice, our current Chief Justice, is the chairman somewhere in his small community there in Baragaba, right? So this is your right. They cannot be denied the right, because they are part of the community. Okay? So therefore, they have that capacity to be the voice of the community. Ms. Oz is the voice of the Nuer community. If he's not responsive to us as a community, we may have right to say, I don't know what you're doing there. We don't know what you're doing there, right? That's one thing. Okay? Now, being a member of the SPLM, in a normal setting of government, in a government that is democratic, and a party always gets their members from the community. Because party is not a hybrid. All right? So the party gets members from the community. They are always responsive to the community. So if you can read the document, let's say, take the United States, for example, okay, they're representatives. You will find them, they are in meeting of the school if they are needed. They are in meeting of the churches if they are needed, because they are responsive to the community. The member of the SPLM, who are a member of Young community or member of a Nuer community or member of Nuer community or member to, Sholo or Zanyo Madi, they are responsive to the community, unless if the SPLA wants to divorce itself from the community. Okay? So they are all together. Okay? If they want the SPLM to be, a member in your community, of course they have to talk on their capacity. If one of their friends in the party, or if somebody in the government says something like this, and as SPLM is a part of a government, so they have right to voice that. They can say, no, you can't say this to my community. There's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong at all in a normal setting, right? I guess rather than ask a good question, but I think they do have right to say that. And they have a right also to demand this guy to step down.
Okay.
He's stepping bombs.
Okay, thank you, Luke and then Commissioner. Before so I will let the clubhouse continue, but I won't close down the studio here. So before I close down the studio, while we continue in the clubhouse, let me play this video from Ministry of Youth and Sport, Dr. Joseph. So he Here is what he say regarding
the hostile community does not mean the collective community, but as the Honorable Minister has mentioned, this is an organized group that attacked the barrack, as we have seen. And of course, this is taken care of under Chapter 5, which calls for reconciliation of communities. The agreement was signed in 2015, as we know it. It collapsed in 2016 and revitalized in 2018. This was meant to consolidate peace and security. But we haven't seen this happening. That is why the incident of Nasser has sparked this level of political crisis. So what this document does, it calls for government to sit back, address this issue through a political process, which is why it calls for security to be strengthened. It calls for electoral mechanisms to be supported so that we can have elections by the end of transition period. And indeed, political parties that are signatory to the peace agreement were expected to organize themselves to participate in elections that were meant to have been held a year ago. However, one of these political groups, as mentioned, the SPLM-IO, refused to participate through the implementation of the peace agreement and instead insisted on running a parallel military that attacked civilians. So the hostility that we have seen with communities is evidently supported by some of the partners to the peace agreement. That's why they have been influenced to attack military installations. And the remedy to this, as the continuation of the peace agreement calls for, is to emphasize on reconciliation, which is a reconciliation of communities as articulated in Chapter 5. So I thought that needed to be emphasized, that we are not referring to the collective as a community, but that communities have been organized, supported by SPLM-IO to attack military installations. So those ones, of course, are evidently hostile, and the government, when the implementation progresses, will engage them through reconciliation processes. I think the investigation has been adequately mentioned, and what we need to know as journalists is that there's a lot of information on media that you're already aware of, and I'm sure nobody has not heard that there is an investigation going on to those individuals that are in conflict with the law. And of course, we cannot preempt. We're not supposed to talk about an ongoing legal process.
There you have it. That's a cleanup after a remark from Dr. Martin Lomuro. So that is Ministry of Youth and Sport. So just and this same day when they give a press conference on Saturday. So you hear from that. It's not the when the use of hostile. It's not the whole community of Nuer. It's specific people that who were hostile to the government. Those people who pick up arms and kill more than 400 SSPDF with their family. Those are the people that call them the hostile. And those group of White Army, they come up from those communities, those counties. So that's my. I have another video, but we ran out of time. The video of Honorable Michael Mukunwes, but I will not be played today, so it will be the next time if I have another show. So part 2, maybe I will come up tomorrow with part 2 if I have a chance. So for now, I will close down the room, the show. The studio, and then we'll continue with our room in Clubhouse. And those of you who are watching here in Facebook and YouTube, please join us in Clubhouse. We'll continue with our conversation. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful night. Have a wonderful morning where you are. Thank you for watching our show. Have a good night. Bye now. So those of you in Clubhouse, you guys can continue. Then come and talk. You guys can continue with the room. Thank you.
Male aganya lagi magai kajago jinyan giji tedi motor jinyan kaila goge yelage motor jinyan samala jinyan panen kayo gore aile yo kren kijang ya jawada buwajin manengale mane yo koiro dito ubayin ko yele tan panan Koi pon